Welcome to the Bob and Tam Show. Welcome to the Pating Nation. We'll see how many people we can get out here on a Sunday. I don't know if the football game's already started or not, but we'll find out what happens. Got a few things we want to talk about tonight, so we'll wait a few minutes before we jump into it because we only got 5 people on. Tell you a few things about if you've noticed some of our lives have disappeared. I got a reason for that. We're going to talk about that tonight. Also going to talk about where we're at. Talk a little bit about Bikes, Blues, and Barbecue, which is coming up next week. It's not canceled. And we got some other news to talk about that we found out. Looks like Fayetteville. Well, we'll talk about that in a little bit. And so we got a bunch of things to talk about, and want to see if we can get some information from you guys to help us out here in the next, at least this next rally, so you can let us know. And so what do we got? We still only got 5 people on. So who's all on? Do we have anybody out there in Facebook land, or do we have all of our YouTubers on here tonight?
I put my glasses on to see.
Yeah.
All right, I guess I spelled it right.
So so we're just waiting around a few minutes to see if everybody out. We'll tell you where we're at while we're sitting here doing nothing. We just got done having dinner, and we actually had a very excellent dinner. The place actually didn't have the best reviews. It was like 3.75 on
Out
Yelp.
of 5.
Yeah. And I think I ought to give them a 10. It was so good. Oh, there goes all of our people.
There we
They
go.
must have been locked out or something. They wouldn't let them in.
There's David and Mary Beth. Hey there.
So we're in Branson, Missouri.
All right.
It's Missouri for these people that live here in Missouri. Missouri, there's no A in Missouri. It's Missouri.
Sure, old school. My grandpa used to say Missouri.
It's not Missouri either. There's no sour in Missouri.
Misery.
Yeah, that's what she always called Missouri. So where we're at, what's the name of this place?
It was misery for me. It's Charlie's Steak and Ale Pub.
Yeah, it's right on the 76. Probably should go get a flyer or something with their name on it so we can keep saying it and make sure we say it right and get their address. This place was excellent. Excellent food. Service was pretty good. You know, it's not too crowded. We did an early dinner here. Got in here about an hour ago.
Thank you.
And so that worked out pretty good. So the food was great. I had a sirloin steak, baked potato,
salad.
They had bread, and it looked like a regular roll, like you bought, like what's those rolls?
Hawaiian roll.
Yeah, but it wasn't. I think they made them themselves. I was going to tell you, but I ate them all. I ate by her shoes.
I usually don't eat bread anyway.
We got a salad, and actually, it's the kind like we like that. They're cold. Like they already maybe have the salads made and they put them in a cooler. We used to eat at a place in California, Norm's restaurant. They were always good for that. Love to have that salad when it's ice cold. So that's where we're at. She's going to go get the menu. And we got some things we're going to talk about tonight. If you've noticed, some of our lives have disappeared. We're going to talk about that tonight. What happened to them and why they're gone. And you may still be able to see them if you want. So that's kind of an option. Got kind of a glare off the light. Is that... If we don't look too good, we could always turn the blinds down a little bit, I guess. So we'll see how that all works out. And probably could close. I don't know. I don't know if anybody's complaining yet. That's fine. So we'll wait and see. Yeah, probably that one. Yeah, that's better. We'll leave that up. That'll be fine. So what do we got? We got 14 people on, so we're cooking along here. Yeah, so a little bit better, I guess. And we try to move to the far side of the bar because they have music on that side. And I don't think you guys can hear the music. It looked like we weren't picking any music up before. And don't darken the whole place down. They will never be able to see. They might want light in here. Now we got kind of dark. That one was all right until you closed it.
This one or that one?
No, that first one. The last one you did. There you go. That's fine. It did. Close it again. Let's see. Yes, leave that alone. Well, somebody said there was a flare.
Oh my gosh. There.
We
Hi.
should have brought
I'm
we should have brought the stage lights in so we could have adjusted our proper lighting. She calls it the dead body bag in the trailer.
body bag.
She has to drag around from one end of the trailer to the other one.
Hey, Billy. There's
So,
Paula. Better.
So we'll
Red Pink's on.
we
Patina
got
Nation.
22. We'll start off and kind of tell you what's going on. So first of all, we left Lake of the Ozarks early this morning. We were on the road by about 8:30, 9 o'clock. We were on the road, and we came over here to Branson. We did stop. We spent about 2.5 hours at Bass Pro Shop. That place is gigantic.
It's really cool.
Yeah, and they got some really neat museums, and we're going to put a video together, but it's going to be pretty much.
Neil made it on.
We'll talk a little bit in the morning, or at the beginning of the video, and at the end, and in the middle, we're just going to put a lot of shots. They got it was great. They even had some animals there that they don't have at any other live animal that they don't have at any other pro bass that we've ever seen. So we'll have to see if you guys did.
Good luck.
So hopefully that video maybe come out Tuesday. We'll see how things go here. One day it might rain here, so I may be able to do a couple more videos there. So we're gonna have a video come out tomorrow, which will be about jackal, gators, shady gator, lazy gator. Went back over there and got some good shots. Got some of the girls in the pool. We got one of our subscribers. She's gonna be our thumbnail tomorrow. Got her bikini on, and so hopefully that'll get us some views. So that'd be kind of exciting.
We just moved right before he decided to go on, so he told me to get my stuff together to do the lights and stuff. So that was him, not me. We just moved, like, we had 2 minutes left to go, and he decides to move.
Well, because the music over there, there's these people that were right behind us that was like louder than heck. And I figured you guys would have heard of them. And then when we turned it, we were still getting the music. So it's on the other side of this wall. So we're hoping that the music will be fine. And
we have somebody on from Germany, teacher.
Thanks for watching.
I get better reception 8 miles from the house. He's out looking for moose, he said.
Oh.
So good luck with that.
Are you not getting any?
He said he's got 6 days left. I guess he hasn't found one yet. I'll send a moose call up there. How's that? Yeah. Maybe they'll come on running.
Mighty Moose?
Yeah. Or no, who was that? Bullwinkle. He was a moose.
They
somebody's birthday.
The moose from Vacation. What's that? Wally Moose?
Wally World. Yeah.
Yeah, but what was the moose called? He was on Family Vacation with Chevy Chase. What was the moose called? We won't look it up. See who knows about that. Can't think of the name of that moose. Wally Moose? It's not Wally Moose. Something moose. Yeah. We'll see what happens. So let's talk a little bit about what's going on with our channel.
There's Jim. Jim and Sandra are on. They went to see Jackal with us.
We'll tell you a little bit about what happened to our live. I just pulled off 3 lives last night, late last night. I pulled them down. What the problem is she don't know. I don't know really what's going on with the channel. This seemed to happen last year too, right after Sturgis. We lost quite a few subscribers. And I don't know if it's when
Marty moves.
Marty moves, that's it.
Rat Pink had it.
There you go.
Marty he wins moves. The booby prize. Oh, there's another one. John had it too.
So Marty moves. So that's what Neil's hunting for. Mighty Moose.
Yeah.
Marty Moose. Marty Moose.
Marty Moose.
So back to what I was saying was we were talking about the my subscribers. So I basically in the last week I've lost probably about 30 or 40 subscribers. And I'm not quite sure why. A lot of times what happens is anybody that comes on here, anybody that you ever talk to, you can't just hit subscribe and subscribe to anybody. You have to at least watch 3 minutes of a video of theirs before you subscribe. If not, YouTube will actually pull that away from the person like us. The YouTuber, they'll pull you away from us in a short period of time. They go through and they kind of clean it up. So I don't know if that's what they did to us. I'm not sure. But I mean, before we ever went to Lake of the Ozarks, we were at 15,361. And last night we were down to 15,344. And so I'm losing them faster than I'm getting them. So we know we passed out, not a lot of cards, but we probably passed out 50 or 60 cards of people that all said they subscribed. Well, we didn't see any of those people coming up. And they showed us on the phone, we subscribed, which I know they probably didn't watch a video. So that's the point. So what I also was thinking is we've done a couple lives this week, this week, I guess. It's just starting the end of the week, Sunday. So this week during the rally, we've done some lives and they haven't gone so well. You know, the one that I've got up there still is the day that we were down there on Thursday. That was the bike showing Main Street to Strip. Not really Main Street, but the Bagnell Dam Strip where all the bikes were at, the bars and all that. I left that one up because that seemed to go all right. The next couple of nights that we put out, when we did Jackal, we had a lot of trouble with the
Sound.
yeah, that band played 3 songs during their sound check, and we kept
The leaf
muting.
blower.
Yeah, so we kept muting it, so we didn't want to cause any problem with. You couldn't have heard us anyway because it was so freaking loud. So we kind of muted that. So I know that might have caused some trouble. Last night's video was just we were a little crazy. So I didn't know if that was people were looking at us thinking these people are nuts. So I pulled them all down. And then also one that I pulled down that
He was
just
showing his true colors.
that was just showing you a little bit about letting you. It was just a shout out for going to go live or something. I think we did. What I'm going to end up doing is after this video is over, I will put a link underneath, not in the text or not in the comments, but you'll have to hit that little button, that little arrow, be on this side of your screen.
Yeah.
Right here. There's like she always calls it the hat. It's like a triangle, but there's one that's pointing down. If you hit that, and there's nothing really there, just the title's down there. You can go down there, and I'm going to put those 3 videos on there, which will be the links to them. So you can watch those links, and that will take you to those videos, and you can see them, you can comment, and we still see it. But right now, that's the only way anybody can see those 3 videos again, or if you missed them, that's the only way you're going to be able to see them is through those links. I'm not going to put them back up. I just don't know if that was my issue that I had, that we got so far off track of what we normally talk about bikes, and we really didn't talk much about bikes at all. So that's the first thing we wanted to talk about today. I get really upset about losing subscribers. They always tell us, YouTube says now they're not really looking at subscribers, but the difference is if we had 150,000 subscribers, it would be like every one of my videos would be 5,000 to 10,000 people no matter what. We could just sit here and look at us and we would have that many people click on. But when you're at where we're at with 15,000 and we're getting, which is sad, we were before I ever got this big, we were pretty much around 500 to 1,000 views almost on pretty much every video we've ever done. Now we're up to 15,000 subscribers, and these last few videos ain't doing very good at all. So I'm trying to figure out what's going on. I know always after Sturgis, we always slow back down, but we've been kind of staying with rallies. See, last year we didn't jump right into another rally right after Sturgis. We had some downtime before we went to, because we didn't go to Myrtle Beach Spring Rally, did we? We went to fall rally last year. It was fall rally. Yeah, so then we went back. That's, I don't know. What did we do? Oh, I don't know. What did we do after Sturgis last year? Did we go anywhere?
We went back home, I think.
Okay.
We went down. So we started
the rallies down in Daytona, and we were there for the fall rallies in 2020, and then we came back for the spring rallies in 2021. Now we're going back to the fall rallies in 2021.
Daytona, Panama City.
Leesburg we did in the spring. So, okay, so that's where we're at. So we're just trying to figure out, and I know we had that, and that's kind of one of the reasons we added more rallies this year. We thought we would get more followers. And I know a lot of people could care less about Lake of the Ozarks, but I mean, it was a little different rally, and we got a nice highlight one that I'm going to kind of come up tomorrow with, and be a little bit more like we did. I don't know if people got bored because, you know, we didn't have very many vendors. And so I don't really know why the videos didn't do very well. Your help would be appreciated. If you see why, you know, why one seems to be so boring or something like that. Like we had one I didn't even show, only the Patreon people seen it. We went out on it's a video, it's about 18 or 19 minutes long. It's just a ride. We went out and rode out to this park.
Tonka.
Yeah. And we didn't do anything there. We just stopped at the visitor center and that was it. And so I showed it to the Patreons, and some of the guys had comments. They really liked it. I put some music to it, and that was about it. But there's no talking in it really, other than us not even at the starting, there's nothing there. It's just at the end where we're at that information center, and we talk a little bit about that. But that's where I ended at, because a couple of the people that it's on our Patreon said, hey, we just want to see some rides. You don't have to talk. You don't have to do nothing. Just show us riding. So we did that on that video.
And we're supposed to go on some more, hopefully. Supposed to rain tonight or tomorrow night?
Tomorrow night.
Tomorrow night. So hopefully we'll get a couple more rides in here. We're going to go around Table Rock Lake, Lake Taneycomo, all that kind of stuff. So we'll try to get you some more rides. So Mike from Phoenix said that it's up to our subscribers to share us and promote our page. So that would be nice if you guys want to do that.
You can. If you look down there on the bottom, you can see share. and you hit that button and it goes onto your
That's Sunny
face.
Share.
Yeah, it goes onto
SHARE.
you can put it on your Facebook page, and if you're somebody that's got, you can go on Twitter with it, you can go on your to Instagram. There's all those little links will come up, and you can share it all those places. You can also do like I do when I put stuff on our Facebook page, like a link. What I do is when you pull that little triangle down over there. No, it's in the here in the part here.
He's gonna show it to you. And Joyce and Larry are on watching. They're both watching.
Holy smokes!
So Larry's probably downstairs and Joyce is probably upstairs.
So when you're looking at this here, so a lot of people always say that. How do I make comments? Well, you don't want to make the comments. You want to make it right here where it says chat. Live chat. You hit that, and there comes all the chats. So then you copy down here. Now, if you hit this little $sign here, whoops, there you go. If you hit the little $sign, see, that's when the super chats come up. Like if you wanted to give us some money, you could hit, well, it depends on which one. I don't do the stickers. I like to do the chat. It doesn't matter difference, but the chat, you can actually write something that's highlighted. Super sticker, you just pick up one of their stickers, and that's how you do it. So then you hit super chat, and it opens up, and it says it's Bob and Tam's, and then you write in the amount. Now it come up as a suggestion of $5. You can put whatever you want. You can put $1.99, you can put 99 cents, whatever you want to put in there. You can put a lot of money, thousands. You can put $1 million in there if you really wanted. You never know. Somebody might say, hey, I was going to give you $1 million, but I didn't know I could do that. I'd have to do a whole bunch of $5 ones. So not saying you got to do that. So then you would write it in there, and then you could write your message. And what you have to do is see, in my case, I've already, so if I did this, here's my, I'll give myself $5. It'll cost me money to give to myself.
It's good because they take a little bit out. So
yeah.
Anyway.
So it says test to show you. So then mine's already set up on my PayPal account. You can set up your PayPal, you put a debit card, credit card, anything you want. Then when you're done, you write that, and it's going to be $5. So you say buy and send. And then it spins. Oh
yeah, we had some people.
And then
today.
It says, or well, no, mine's on my credit card.
Well, don't.
Well, you can't see the credit. You're going to see the last 4 digits. So mine's set up on my credit card. So it says you agree to buy. Oh, here it is. You agree to buy. So you hit buy. And it's working. Okay. So now in a few seconds, there it is. We just gave ourselves $5. So that's just showing you guys how this works. You know, if you want to do it, that's fine. If you don't, that's not the end of the world either. A lot of people always say, hey, how can we help you guys? I can't really afford to give you any extra money. We're tight on money. A lot of people are. Way you can do it is watch our videos and watch it all the way through. Watch the stupid commercials that they put up, because that's how we get paid, is by the commercials that people watch. You don't have to hit on like or anything on those commercials or links that they put up. Just let them all play through. Now, sometimes what I do with some of the new people that we have and some of the people we subscribe to is I'll throw my phone down and just let it play. And then when it's all done, then I go back and I watch it and I skip the commercials. That way they got paid the first go around, but they don't get paid the second go around. So
that way we can watch it and then skip the commercials when we watch it.
Yes. So that's something you can do. Now, something else that I wanted to show. What was the other thing I wanted to show? Sharon. That was the other thing I did. Okay, so you're looking here. If you look at all that, look at your phone almost. You look at that. You got, there's your like button. You already see, I already hit the little one that's going up. That's your like up. The other one are the losers that point down. Next is live chat. Next one is share. So if you hit share, this comes up. Now, if you want to just send it, like let's say you got a buddy that says, hey, I'd really like to know what Bob and Tam do. Well, you can just go right here to the share button. You hit that and it copies it. And copy link. That's the one I wanted to do. Copy link. So then at the bottom of my phone, it said it was copied. So now I can go someplace, like I can do it here. There. I just shared our link.
With who?
With just everybody here. They're going to see it come up. See, so that's what I copied. All I had to do is just hit that copy and that comes up. So you're back here to share, and then it has all your other feeds in there too. Like if you got a Facebook page, you got a Pinterest, you want to put it on chat, you want to Gmail it to somebody, Bluetooth it. Well, I don't know what you Bluetooth with anybody, but you put it on your calendar. you want to remember to come back and watch our video. Those are
Hi,
all the different ways you can use all that different stuff.
King Jeff.
And so that's how it kind of works. So we're going to go back to the live chat. I was going to bring the computer today. If I'd known we would have had this much room here. What a glare. Okay, go back. Hit live chat, and now the chats came back up. So we can see everybody that's there. So that's how that works. So hopefully that helps some of you on how, the sun's coming in glaring. I got
On the one I already shot.
I know. Looks like I got a sunburn or something. You can always close the blind again. It's glaring off. I think it's glaring off our truck. There he goes. That worked. That made it better. So that helps you. Yeah, it is kind of dark, but that's okay. So that shows you a little bit about how if you want to donate money, things like that. There's another couple ways we're going to do it because actually PayPal, or not PayPal, but YouTube takes a pretty good chunk of money out of what we get. PayPal's a better way to pay us. I've seen it on a couple websites that people can do PayPal donations, and I haven't figured out how to do that yet. And they only take 3% out, so it should be a lot better than, I think it's almost 30% is what YouTube takes for their cut. And that's what somebody said yesterday. I don't know. I don't really go back and look.
They don't do it for each thing. They just say, this is what you made this day.
Well, that's what you made this month. And then they send you a check. Well, they don't send a check. They put it in our PayPal account. No, they send it to our bank. And then they're going to move that money. So that's how that all works. Patreon's a little different. Patreon is, which we're going to get the computer here hopefully this week if we get time, we're going to get the computer up and we're going to show you guys how to use Patreon, how you can see our videos, things like that, and how that works and what the benefit of it is. What this all does is, one of the things that we don't do in a lot of, like we just talked to a YouTuber yesterday that they're being paid exclusively by an insurance company, not insurance, lawyers, a lawyer firm that's paying them to do their job. So they can go around and ride, they can do whatever they want to do, and that's how they get paid. Second thing that they do is the only way that they do a shout out for a business is they're paid. So like if they wanted me to do my windshield, which we're going to talk to somebody tomorrow and see if we can get a price discount for you guys if I promote it. And that the only way they would do that is say, hey, you got to pay me $1,000 for me to talk about that windshield. Well, the bad thing about that is super chat.
Yeah, super chat.
Super
Thank
chat.
you, Richard. Says hello from Rick and Sue from Middleborough, Missouri.
There you go. How far is that?
They met us in Sturgis. So how far away are you from Branson?
Yes, I don't know where Middleborough's on. So where was I at? Oh, he was talking about them. So they're being paid $1,000. I don't know what they get paid for doing shout outs, but they said they get paid by the vendor. So the idea would be is let's say the windshield I got sucked, but if you're going to pay me $1,000 to talk about it, what am I going to say?
Our screen or your screen?
I don't know. Don't mess with it.
I think it's your.
And so it's not that big, so that's the problem that I have with a lot of people that promote stuff on YouTube. Well, that's one of the reasons we don't want to do. We want to be honest and true to you, and it shows that those shocks that I bought, which I'm pretty pleased with the shocks. They seem to handle really, really well. Probably in the maybe tomorrow I might go out. I don't know. She's gonna do laundry. If I get my video done, I probably won't get done before she gets the laundry done. And do right by myself and see how it is. But we took some curves the other day, and it does seem like it's hugging the road a little bit better. The bumps are better. But that's what she thought, I think, with the shocks, was she was going to get like riding in a Mercedes or something.
A smooth ride. It's overall way better than it was.
But I think with the nitrogen shocks, I think they're more designed for performance than it is necessarily for a ride. You can only ride so well on a motorcycle.
There's Jamie. Love our team. Who said that? That's Kathy. And we met her. Chris is on. He said hi. And then Jamie, she was the lady that was selling those cups. So thanks. Yeah, we need to get a hold of you and see. No one ever said if they won a cup with our name on it or the Pink Teen Nation or anything like that. But we gave her a card and stuff. We videotaped her booth, but
it didn't make it through yet.
Yeah, we'll put it up and you guys can see it. Her name's Jamie. Can't think of which else she said. What's the name of your business? And she does them all herself, so that's pretty impressive.
And it's pretty neat. And they're, I told you she should go to some of the really big rallies. You can sell a lot of those cups. You can put like the Harley emblem on it, or they've got it's like a Yeti cup, or they got the thin ones, whatever they are. They're like a Yeti cup. And then she puts the wraps on them. You can have like a Pennzoil or whatever. She prints them up.
And then they've got.
It's kind of neat. I've seen them, and we don't have anything like that, but we've seen a lot of people buy them, and I see a lot of places that when we go to vendors, there used to be a guy that did it in last year, and he's gone. He quit doing this for the rallies. Oh, we got another super chat.
Oh boy, thank you, thank you.
$10.
Thank you, Frank.
Suzanne, celebrating their 47th anniversary, watching Bob and Tan.
Thank you. Happy anniversary.
That's even longer than us.
Yeah.
That's a good challenge. We don't, nowadays, just like us, we have very few friends that are still, I don't know if we have any friends that are still married from their original spouse. My brother-in-law and sister,
Joyce
they've been
and Larry,
married,
and they were on.
They're getting, what do they say? They're 48 or something, 47.
They got married in 73. So in 23, they'll be married 50 years.
Yeah.
So they got married, 7 years before us, I think.
So, yeah, you don't see that very often. Jamie. So it's a big challenge, and congratulations to you.
Chat. And thank you, Frank and Suzanne.
So when we talk about that, that's why we talk about the Patreon page, and that's why we talk about this super chats and things like that, because what we want to do is stay true to you. I don't want to have to go to a vendor and say, hey, the only way we're going to be able to do this anymore is we need financial funding from corporate people. But we don't really want to do that, because I'd rather tell you guys the way it is. And if it sucks, it sucks. And it's like, we just found something out on a product that we were actually getting ready to demo for a vendor, and I found a lot of complaints about it when we were in Lake of the Ozarks. So I haven't decided. I may wait to call, because I'm thinking about making a video, not for you, but to send to them about people complaining about their product. And it's a #1 selling product for this company. And if any of you on the live the other day, you already know what it is. I talked about it, but I don't want to badmouth them, because maybe they don't know. And so I want to
ask them if they've had any of the same complaints, and to tell them.
And for me, talking to just the first 3 people that had this on their bike, and they all 3 had a complaint, I was like, okay, I better not buy it. And that's the thing. What we say is, I don't know where we talked about a couple companies, like another company that had contacted us is Zero. They had talked to us about, and I brought it up to you guys about a month or so ago. If you thought I was selling out by doing this, what it would do is they would send me a product. I'd put it on the bike. I would show you guys how I put it on. Then I'd ride the bike for a week or 2, and then tell you. I would then do a video after the fact. But it would end up being you'd see the video at the end. You'd see the video where I first put it all on the bike and all that, and then a couple weeks I would then review exactly what I did. But you'd see all that in one video. So you wouldn't be waiting for me to tell you. It would be
like almost a whole week process to make one video.
Yeah. So that way I can check it all out. I'd see if I liked it and all that kind of good stuff. And then what they would do is I would give you a link to buy it. And then I would get 5 or 10% off of every sale that would use my link to buy it. So that's something that a lot of you guys said that you thought that was a good idea. And that was my point, which they haven't answered the question yet. Is if Zero, for instance, if I bought something from them, let's say the lights that you put on the side of your bags, and they were junk,
they wouldn't stay on. Yeah.
Or whatever. Maybe it didn't look good. Whatever the case might be. How do they want me to handle that? So my idea was 2 ways. 1, I'll tell you like it is. Or 2, I can send the crap back and we won't talk about it. And so people would say, well, how do I know what's good and what's bad? I said, well, for you guys, the things that I recommend you buy, and the things I don't recommend, don't buy them. And probably what we would do is, like we did Zero like that, we would probably run a running list of things that we've tested and say, yes, this is great, 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 great. So you could go there and say, hey, have you tried the phone? I'm thinking about getting the phone. They got a phone charger, and I'm thinking about getting one of those. I don't really charge my phone on the bike, but maybe we might, because we have them in cases, and sometimes they don't like to go through case. They're not really metal, but sometimes you have trouble charging them on those. But I thought, I'd try it out, see if it works. And I know a lot of people have asked for those things. For instance, like Cal, our friend from Chevy Cups, he doesn't have anything like that. He just has the regular holding ones. So I thought, hey, we'll try those out. We'll drive it in the rain, see how it works in the rain and how easy it is to hook up. I'm pretty electrical. I'm pretty good about explaining things. I was a tech and stuff and a supervisor and things like that with people. So I kind of got a little bit of experience on giving you guys pretty well explain how something works and how to hook it up and things like that without shorting your bike out. And things aren't that hard on 12 volts. It's not like you're, I work
zapped.
I don't turn the power off when I work at home either, but that's me. And I've been zapped once by 200 amps. And the aluminum ladder fell on the fuse box when I was installing the fuse box. Yo! I was all right. It burned the ladder, but I fell off. And that's a whole nother story. We won't get into that. That's a long time ago.
Got lots of stories.
Yes. And I still work with live wire, live electricity. So, but I mean, 12 volts.
Frank says,
this is my third wedding ring too. First one got welded to an alternator when I was working on a car. I touched the back of the alternator with my ring and it grounded to it and it melted onto it. And I had to finally break my hand loose to get the weld off. And then I had to go and we had to get some hacksaw and we had to cut my ring off because it had melted to my hand. And because a lot of mechanics don't wear rings, and I've always have. I've never not worn a wedding ring. And so I had another one that got smashed, and that was smashed on my finger. We had to cut that one off. So
this is number 3.
Yeah, I kind of don't work on cars anymore.
Third ring, not 3 wives.
Yeah. So yeah.
That was me. Hi, Jim.
so that kind of tells you a little bit about that. So that's one of the reasons that we kind of ask for donations if you'd like to help support our channel. A lot of people say, well, you guys have a nice trailer, you have a nice truck and things like that. And we do have some nice things. We have a nice house. We worked hard for what we have. But what this is just think of yourselves. Spending the next 2 years on the road traveling, going from campground to campground, going to rally, and
paying for gas after gas.
And think about how much that's going to cost you to do that.
You know how much it costs just for a vacation to go somewhere for a week or something. So it adds up.
Yeah. So that's the point that we run into problems with doing this because which is the second leg of our trip going back down to Myrtle Beach in Florida and all that is because Sturgis was so well. If I told you what I made in Sturgis, you'd be saying, you can make that stretch that far. Well, yeah, we didn't make a lot of money, which I could have. Where I worked at before, it's about a week and a half of my pay for working at a utility company that I made in Sturgis for 48 days of putting a video out every damn day. And
but he likes it.
That's right. So. I'm not complaining. I like doing this. I have a lot of fun doing it. We're hoping we're going to decide next week about building a garage that we want to make back in Arizona so I can have a place to work and stuff because we might do that the following year. Because it ain't going to get done now until like March or April. And then I got to put electric in. I got to drop a septic tank in. Never done a septic tank. Electric I ain't worried about. Water I ain't worried about. I ain't worried about running the pipes. I just
we had to run when we moved our trailer from a park to a lot. We had to do all the water for that and everything.
So I've done some of that stuff. It's not that big a deal. Except now it's all in rocks.
They said Ocean City Bike Fest was really crowded yesterday. The weather was nice. It's good. Was it nice the whole time, Kevin?
No, I think it rained because Adam showed it rain that one night. Saturdays are always the best day. It's just like here. Rally. It was crazy there yesterday in Lake of the Ozarks. Now, next year we are on our list now. We have planned to go to Ocean City next year. We keep saying Oceanside because we lived in California and had Oceanside down by the military base down there. What's the military base? Pendleton, yeah.
Travis used to go
there. Our
nephew.
He went to Camp Pendleton. Was a Marine. And so that's why we keep saying Oceanside all the time. It's Ocean City. So our goal is next year to hit those 2 rallies that we didn't do this year, which is Ocean City, and we're going to try to do Laconia this next year for spring. But then next year when we come back around for the fall rallies, we're probably not doing any of them. We're not going to come back to Myrtle Beach, Daytona, Panama City. We may still do Galveston, depending on how good Galveston is when we do it. Galveston, they say, is like it's like second to, it's right there with Daytona, Sturgis, Galveston is all kind of like some of the biggest rallies there is. So we'll see. And we'll see. But they say a lot of times it's really cold down there in November. So, we're heading for the hurricanes too. So we'll see how that works out.
And they said it's really cold. They said make sure you got warm clothes and your chaps and your leathers because.
Which we always carry that anyway. We don't have the heavy coats with it. Don't have any of our heavy coats for riding. We talked about that the other day. I have a neoprene Harley jacket that I have. It used to be waterproof. It's not really that much waterproof anymore. And then I wear a sweatshirt underneath it too, a hoodie. And if I wear those two, I'm usually okay.
Because we have heated seats and heated grips. He's got heated grips.
Hopefully it's because I got the seat unplugged, but the grips won't work right now. So
we got the right seat on?
No. I have the back seat on.
The comfy seat.
Yep, seat don't hurt our backbone. And I don't have the heated seat. It's usually in the wintertime, we don't ride a whole lot when it's cold. Like in November, if we're down there at Galveston and it's really, really cold, we're going to be riding to those events and that's it. We ain't going to be out social riding on the bike.
In the hills.
And we'll spend a lot more time sitting in different places talking to you guys. So that's kind of some of the things that we're thinking about for next year. Oh, so that's what, going back to the garage, would be to go and start doing stuff. Possibly, we want to do this vet bike. So far, I'm not having any Harley dealers willing to work with us on anything yet. So it's still early. We haven't hounded them that much. We've talked to Rapid City now twice on theirs, Black Elks Harley. That's who we'd like to get it from because we want to give it away in Sturgis because that's the biggest event. And so I don't know. We're still working on that. So my other choice is if that doesn't all pan out like it is, and it's possible our Las Vegas dealers might come through and we'll end up giving away in Las Vegas. But I mean, I think they'd sell a lot more tickets to help the vets in Sturgis than they would do at any other rally. You know, in Daytona, you never know. Maybe the Rossmeyers might come up and say, hey, here, we'll give you this bike, or we'll give you a heck of a deal on this bike. So, you know, those are all things that we're willing to discuss and talk. But I never know. That would be great to give one away in Daytona too. They're a big dealership and that would work real good. So never know. We'll see how it all happens.
Jesse's down there and he supports the vets a lot. Yep. So Jesse might be able
maybe
to
he can help us weasel something out. So we'll see what happens. And if not, what we're looking at is possibly buying some, I don't know if you've ever heard of it. It's called Copart, C-O-P-A-R-T. It's actually an auction that you can buy from, but you have to go through a broker. And there are bikes that could be wrecked. It could be a bike that was flooded. It could be a bike that was in a fire. It could be a stolen bike. It could be anything. Well, most of them, you end up coming back with a salvage title. But what I'm thinking about doing is maybe buying some bikes like that and doing stuff to them. And let you guys tell me what you think I should do to each bike. Now, should I change the handlebars? Should we do a luggage rack on it? Should we put LED lights in it and all this stuff, and let you guys decide what we do on the bike? And then what we would do is with the vendors that we have, we would work on them giving us those products so we can promote that bike. And then at that point, we'll decide what we're going to do with the bike. I don't know if maybe I'll do something on my own where we'll give it away to, like I just heard one today when we were traveling here, that this radio station's giving away a car a month to a deserving vet, somebody that doesn't have any transportation or anything like that, or what is it, PTSD, somebody that's got that, or somebody that's got, shell shock or something like that, and they've got a lot of issues. And there's been a lot of proof showing that riding motorcycle, just for me, riding a motorcycle takes a lot of stress out of somebody's life. And maybe we'll do that ourselves. Maybe we'll donate that bike. And we'll find those people. Maybe we'll go through a VFW or American Legion.
There was an organization in Panama City we talked to, and that's what they did. They give bikes to vets.
Yeah.
And they build them.
And maybe we'll do that with them. Yeah. Maybe we can link with them and say, hey, we'll give you this bike and you give it to a good person.
They see fit,
and maybe,
I think they have a waiting list.
Yeah. So maybe we can get an interview with the person that gets it if they want to. If they don't want to, that's fine too. But hopefully we get a picture at least that we can show that, hey, here's the vet that we gave it to, and I'd like to say where he served at and what he did and stuff. That'd be great. And so maybe that'll be something we'll do. And if we do that, that'll be stuff that we'll do during the fall. So we would go home like at the end of the season here. Like let's say our last rally next year is going to be Ocean City. Well, then from then on, the rest of the year, we would go back home and I would work on these bikes and stuff and do stuff. And so it wouldn't be as much riding videos. It would be more looking at different kinds of bikes. And, we might do other things. Cyril, for instance, now is really getting into the Hondas. They've got, we were talking to actually the father of the son that owns Cyril, the one that actually started Karaoke. He's been in contact with us, which is really exciting. I'm hoping we can meet him. And
did he ever say where it was from?
Not yet. But I'm hoping I can, and it's possible once we see, what's her name? Started with the K.
Kelsey.
that we can tell her that he's been talking to us. Maybe she can talk to her boyfriend, which is the owner of Ciro, and we can meet up with
his dad.
Yeah, we can meet his dad and talk to him. I would love to get him on camera. I don't know if you guys are excited about things like that, but to me, I love when I seen he talked to me and he started saying some stuff that I knew that it was him. It wasn't just somebody making up this stuff. And then he wrote some more stuff and told me some more stuff, and I'm pretty sure it's the guy. And
the man.
Yeah.
We've got contact with
to me, to have people that it's like talking to Rod. A lot of people might say, Rod who? Rod that owns the Buffalo Chip. He's been around. He's had that campground for over 40 years now. He had his 40th anniversary this last year. And we got a video that we sat down and talked to him about history. And we're going to be doing that video here sometime. It's going to be in a couple series because it was about a 2-hour interview. And we'll chop it up and do different stuff.
Well, I did. I had it in segments too. And I said, okay, here's part 1. And I titled it and we talked part 2, part 3. And then I said, okay, part 5. And he's like, this is the last one. And
but we didn't get as many pictures as I really wanted from them. We need to call them back and see if we could get, which they sent us some really good pictures, but they didn't give me enough. Because what I wanted to do is, it's not really exciting just to sit here and watch us talk, and I understand that. And but we do watch some people too like that. But I mean, to sit down and I don't really know Rod. Let's say you don't really know Rod. Well, I don't really know Rod that well either. We've only really this year, the time we got to spend with him, we got to really know him and respect him and we really like him. And some people don't like him. Some people say different things. But I mean, ever since we met him, he's been a great guy.
Yeah.
He's been very helpful. He's been very nice. He's very courteous. But I mean, he is a businessman. We understand that. Just like dealing with the Rossmeyers. They're a business. And
they're there to make money,
right.
not give away stuff.
That's right. So we understand that. And we appreciate that they just give us time to give you that information that they're passing on about the rallies and things like that. But I mean, just like sitting down with the police chief, to me, that was a great honor in Sturgis to sit down with the police chief, to give us his time to answer our questions. And I didn't really say anything about it in that interview, but there's not anything that he said, no, that's not, I don't want that in the video. Every question I asked, he answered the question. So I really appreciated his honesty, and I just want to let all of you know that if you watch that video, there was not a question that he said, that's off of records. That's off record. The only thing I didn't get to talk about, which I forgot to talk about, was I was going to talk about Antifa and Black Lives Matter, if they thought they were going to come in town, which they ended up not going in town anyway. And we did talk about the Hells Angels, HAs. We talked about them, but when we found out they weren't coming to town for their rally, they were already having it up in Montana 2 weeks before the rally. They already had it. Well, there wasn't anything to talk about. So that wasn't a question, because we were going to sit down and talk about how they were going to handle the situation with if there was going to be, 5,000 or 10,000 of the HAs showed up in town. How was
it? For the 81st.
Yeah, for the 81st. That's what everybody was so scared about. Well, we even heard from some of the loyal prominent business people in Sturgis told us it was true that was going to be there. When we talked to the police chief, he's like, who told you that crap? Well, I'm like, oh, well, I ain't gonna throw the guys, the people under the bus.
Not gonna throw them under the bus.
But you want some of your local business people, and he says, well, you got to quit listening to what you hear on the street. Here's the facts. So we didn't talk about it because it didn't happen. And we already knew the HA is always in town anyway. They've always had shops and stuff like that. There was more of them this year than before, but other than just a few little minor issues, you didn't even know they were there. So
right.
Worked out real good.
Jerry says Tampa's in the house and the Bucks are winning, so he's
there
happy.
Go.
Pink says 81st. Jeff said he saw the interview at the campground at the picnic table. So I don't know if that's when we talked to him.
That's when we were there.
Okay.
Yeah, he just walked up and I said, hey, Rod, you want to come over and talk to us a little bit? And he's like, yeah. The fun, which is, to me, it's a great, here's the icing on the cake with Rod Woody from the Buffalo Chip was, we were in the office after we were there about a week before the rally. We were there 3 weeks before the rally. And if you go back and watch our domicile video, you'll see why we got there for 3 weeks for free. So we were there and we were in the office off and on. We had an appointment set up with Rod to do this interview that we wanted to do. And it was going to be another week. So his assistant is Chris. It's a lady. And she's got the first office. If you call about domicile, she's the one that she kind of takes care of a lot of stuff. But that's her job, does a lot of stuff with Woody or Rod, however you want to call him the name. But what it was is I said, I know Rod has no idea who we are. And she goes, no, he actually does. I'm like, what do you mean? She goes, just the other day, he come out of his office and he was saying, those that Bob and Tam, those YouTube people, Bob, what's their? And he ran out of the office and said, Excellent Adventures. And he's like, yeah, that young couple, they're out here on the property, aren't they, right now? Young couple. So that was really neat. And then also she was it at the Legends and he came up and talked to you?
Yeah, I was standing there and he walked up behind me. I didn't even know he was there. And he's like, how's your Excellent Adventures going?
And so for him to, hopefully next year he'll still remember us. But I mean, to me, it's a great honor. And then another thing, when we were doing the interview with him, we were just chatting about the other YouTubers that we knew that was showing up. And some of them, one of them's got 160,000 subscribers. And I'm like, well, you probably know about these other ones. And I read all these names off and he's like, I don't know any of them. And I'm like, really? I'm like, nope, I have no idea who you're talking about. I'm like, okay, thanks. You know us, but you don't know them. And we're not that big. So to me, that was a great honor that he took. But I mean, a lot of people do that, which is one of the things that I get a lot of, besides hearing your comments and meeting you guys and all that kind of stuff. One of the other things that I get more than anything else is just like in Daytona, we went down to J&P Cycles. They have a store that's open year round, and we met the manager, John
Crawford.
And he came out and we waited a little while for him to come out and talk to us about their dealership, J&P Cycles, and tell us about what they had going on. And so we're talking, and I said something, I needed something for my bike. He goes, you got a 2014 CVO. It's a blue one, right? And I'm like, how do you know? I haven't even wrote it up here yet. We pulled the truck up. He says, I watch your videos. I'm like, really? And so that to us is a great honor to have people that are that. If we walk up to a business and we'll say, hey, we want to do talk to you like the Indian dealer in Sturgis. We couldn't even get anywhere with them last year. But this year when we went in there, we talked to, what's her name? Indian dealer, Sturgis.
Oh, and Sturgis is Lauren.
Lauren. So Lauren come up and she was so happy to talk to us. And we told her about our channel and she goes, oh, I'm so excited. What do I have to do? What can I do?
She's like a firecracker.
Yeah. And
she's like 4'7".
Yeah. And she was just great. She let us follow along with the ride that they had, their appreciation day, went out and filmed all that. And because we want to give you guys a little bit of an avenue of what we do. So, because we just don't want Harleys. We want to have other bikes in there. A lot of people ride Indians. People ride Yamahas, ride other ones. Well, a lot of times when we go to these other venues like Yamaha out in Sturgis, they were a bunch of clowns from 2 years ago. Well, I won't even deal with them anymore. But it's the point what we want to make with that is we always go up to a lot of these dealers, a Honda dealer and things like that, and we say, hey, we're Bob and Tam. We have a YouTube channel, and we promote motorcycle rallies. And if you'd like to, we'll give you a free shout out on our channel that you can tell us a little bit about your dealership. Now, we had the one there in Rapid City. What did they have? They weren't Honda, though. They were Kawasaki or Yamahas or something.
Yeah, and then they had the Vanderhals, too.
Yeah.
It was called Power Sports.
Yeah.
They had several different Kawasaki's.
And they had tires and stuff, and they were going to do oil changes.
And all the leathers and stuff that those guys wear.
So it was kind of neat that they, and they were really happy for us to come out and talk to them and all that. And it's great. We like to promote because we know not everybody. I started out on Hondas. And a lot of times when somebody I was talking to the other day, they said, we just met a guy in Lake of the Ozarks that had a 750 Honda that he made a trike out of it. And you're going to see him on the highlight probably tomorrow. And he's dressed up. Great. Did a great impression. And that's what when I told him I had a 750, he says, how many guys that had Harleys that started out with a Honda 750?
A lot, I guess.
Good bikes. Just road bike hell.
Pennsylvania.
So
Howie says, we're the only ones to follow. We do a great job, and it's exciting to watch and listen. I don't know how exciting we are, but thank you, Howie.
Yeah.
And then Guns and Riders says he always keeps his heated vest with him. We were talking about how we stay warm. And then he also wanted to know what we thought of Shade Valley out in Sturgis.
Okay, well, here we'll talk about it because we never did get a chance to call them back. Now, we've stayed at Shade Valley, I don't know, 8 years ago. 10 years ago. Our buddy Art is on here once in a while. And you guys may end up getting to meet Art in November when we go back to California to visit the kids. I got to tell him he needs to take a freaking week off so we can do some riding because she wants to spend all the time with the grandkids. And they only want to see Papa. Hi, Papa. And then that's it. Then,
when they were first born, it was all about Papa. They care less about me.
No, it's all about her and they can care less about me. So, but that's fine. And so I might want to go out with my buddy Art. We'll do some rides maybe up the coast and you can meet him. And
that's like Arrowhead.
And do some fun rides and show you some of California. And we'll see how that all goes. But I forget where Oh, Shade Valley.
Shade Valley.
So he came out with us to Shade Valley. And what we did then, it was owned by a different owner. These people have had it, I think they said 3 or 4 years now they had it. And they're trying to make it bigger. First of all, it is never going to be the full throttle, and it's never going to be the buffalo chip. It just isn't going to happen. They don't have the setup for it. And if they're listening, that's, I'll be happy to talk to them about it. But somebody was trying to say the other day that they had talked to them and said, oh, they're going to be the new buffalo chip. It took Rod 40 years to do that. Maybe in 40 years, I'll change my mind. But not in the near future are they ever going to get to what they have. They did
build a huge big stage.
Which is fine. But here's what we heard. We had 2 to 3 of our subscribers that are actually people that come on here and comment. They might even be on the night. And they said, we have a problem. And I'm like, actually, I think we ran into them and started to talk to them personally. And I'm like, yeah, what happened out there? She says, after we seen your video, well, this one couple has a 75-foot rig. By the time their motorhome, their $500,000 motorhome, and the trailer that they've got their Corvette and their motorcycle in that they drag around to the rallies. So you know about them, got some money. And they went out there and they rode their bike out and they wanted to go check out the campground. And so when they pulled up, they said, we'll pay the $20, $25 for the day pass that you guys have. And they said, nope, can't come in. And this was like before noon. And they're like, why is that? And they said, well, it's concert night. So they didn't say that, well, it's going to cost you $90 to come in for the concert. They just told them, no, you can't come in.
And then they said, well, can we just go over to the bar and get a drink? They said, nope.
So we thought, okay, maybe they just
misunderstood,
hit the wrong person. Well, probably was that same day or the next day, somebody else comes up to us and said, hey, you guys did that one on Shady Valley and you guys are kind of recommending them. I'm going to tell you what happened to me. Exactly the same thing. He wanted to go out there and he just wanted to go out there and check it out. He wanted to go out and have a beer at the bar. Same thing. He was willing to pay for the daily charge, but they told him the same thing. Sorry, we got concerts tonight. You can't come in. And he's like, it's 1 o'clock in the afternoon. When's your concert started? Oh, 9 o'clock. So I don't know what their problem is. Actually, it's one of the guys that talked on our cameras who they said is the guy that told them this crap, which is not one of the owners. It's one of the kids that knows the owner's son that works for him. But I mean, he's actually the guy that called all the reservations you talked to. So I don't know what they're doing out there. So at this point, but here's the 2 problems I had with Shade Valley in the first place when we stayed there. They're 7 miles farther out in the dark than Buffalo Chip. Now, a lot of people do. If you're used to going out to Deadwood and you're used to going out to Hill City, or you're staying way out there, what's that bar out there that the lady owns? We didn't make it out there.
Oh, Moonshine Gulch.
Yeah, Moonshine Gulch. We know some people that were staying way past that. If you're used to riding on those roads out there when it's pitch black and it's just you and your motorcycle and your friends, well, I know way too many people that have died from hitting deers. And I worry about that when I'm out at night riding around.
Or if you're going to ride during the day and then plan on being back before dark and staying for the concerts and all that there, then that's not a bad place either.
So that's the point that I look at. We're different from most people. We don't spend much time at the campgrounds. That's what kind of screwed me up here with the Buffalo Chip this year, is we usually get up in the morning and we come back about typically we come back about 7 or 8 o'clock at night and we're done for the night, or maybe 9 or 10. We come back and we're done for the night. Well, now I come back a lot earlier so we can edit. So my point is, at this point is, we've never stayed there since the new people own it. Now, I know they had a lot of spots left over this year. I don't know how many they booked after we went out there. Because I had
several.
Yeah, because I know a lot of people told us they booked Shady Valley because we recommended it. And when we stayed there, they've got one big giant bathroom house. And if you want to take showers in the morning, it's going to be tough. We cheat and we always take our showers at night when we get back. So we don't have that problem of having to fight with everybody. This year, they didn't know if they were going to serve breakfast or not. I don't know if they ended up doing it or not. So
they did when we were there.
I mean, they had a nice kitchen. It looked like it was. It could be really a nice place.
They put a lot of money into it.
Yes, and but you got
to treat people.
Will they ever have Kid Rock or ZZ Top or Aerosmith or whoever out there? Maybe. I doubt it. I don't think it's a big enough venue for the area that they have for people to stand in. You can't do what the Buffalo Chip did. They had 120,000 people at Kid Rock. So they made a lot of money that night. Where if you had that you what I have no idea what Kid Rock charges, $30,000, $50,000 for him to come on and do a show. I have no idea, but you're paying big money for, you like Jackal. Jackal, you're probably getting a lot better deal hiring somebody like a Jackal band or hiring what's that one that they had out there, Queens.
Right.
Those guys probably came out for $10,000, maybe $5,000 plus expenses. I don't know. I don't really book any of that stuff. I've never talked to anybody.
Idea.
I never had an interest in it. I can find out. I know some people that actually book stuff for fairs and stuff like that, and we can find out what a going price is. But I know, like with Woody at the Chip, he wanted to hire AC/DC. Well, once again, that's what they said. They're willing to come and play at the Chip. He can't afford to pay for them. They want, you're looking at $100,000 for a band like that to come out. Where you have stuff like that there's people that they're in such a demand, they'll take that kind of money. Where you have other ones like ZZ Top and Kid Rock and a lot of those, they like to do these kind of rallies and stuff because it's easy in, easy out. They don't have to, especially like that. You're coming to these campgrounds and stuff and doing stuff. Like Kid Rock just did Ocean City. I think he was there Saturday night. And so, you have a lot of that. And so that's what I say. At this point, for me, I wouldn't book Shade Valley right now.
So Jeff from Cat House is on. He wants to know if I'm going to get up on the bar and dance.
If you catch her, if she falls off. She has
Not
danced.
saying I
She
haven't
has
done that
danced
before.
on the bar. She's also been.
Is Larry on still? Larry and Joyce, they could tell you some stories.
I don't think you were dancing on the bar then. But she's
We
been
were
on,
up on stage.
She's
Me
been
and
on
PJ were up
Coyote.
on stage.
She's been on Coyote Ugly State bars before in different towns, and she's been on some other things. But that was a while back, so she was a little younger then.
And I could move a little better.
Yeah.
I can't dance so much.
Yeah, with her
I could get up
ailment.
there maybe and do one dance.
She probably won't walk tomorrow.
I danced a little at the Jackal concert.
So
not much.
So that was kind of like, so that kind of gives you a rundown on Shade Valley.
That was Guns and Rides. He says, thank you. He might check them out, but go for the Chip for more concerts.
Yes. So that's like I said.
And they're probably growing too. So
and like I say, I don't know what they're charging out there either. But see, a lot of people say how expensive the Buffalo Chip was. Here's what we did. We booked right away. I think when I looked the other day, they still don't have rates up for this year that I see. We're gonna have to call out there and find out what's taking them so long. Usually by
they
September
got that new
1st,
system, so they might not be able to.
New computers and a new booking system they were going to come up with.
And they, when they got it installed and put in, like 2 days before Sturgis started.
Yeah, and so everything was totally screwed up there. And I felt sorry for the ladies.
That's not yours.
I was going to dump the water in there. I want some ice in my tea. That's why we have iced tea.
Yep. So Kevin says Kid Rock played at the final show last night of OC at Brantley Gilbert and played before him. So how was that? Were you there, Kevin? I think so, because I think he's the one that said that.
What's bad about going to see some of these things, like Jackal, we've seen them, and we've seen a lot of bands like this. When you see a band, a lot of these bands don't change their music from year to year. And Kid Rock, now we didn't end up watching all Kid Rock this year, but I mean, it looks like it's going to be one of his great years. But it actually sounded like a concert we heard 4 years ago that he was playing, almost the same order of songs and everything. And it's like watching Jackal. He says some of the same exact things all night long. And I understand, but I mean, there's somebody that's going to come on the video that has seen 130 or 140 Jackal shows. And it's like, well, I was a little disappointed. It was a great Jackal show. It was very good. He didn't play my favorite song, which is a new one, which is Rally Rally. And I was really disappointed that he didn't go into any of his new stuff that he came out a couple years ago with. So I was just, because it was an early show, and but it was, well, I had some great video. I got real close, and you're gonna see some great video on that tomorrow on that one. But I don't know if Kid Rock played the same set that he played, and normally they do. If they're going for a whole year, they play the same set, they say the same stuff. The band knows, everybody knows what they're doing, and it's all the same in a row.
It's scripted.
Yeah, and which is fine. But if you end up seeing them a couple times at a couple different rallies throughout the year, it kind of sucks. So it's like we were just looking at Myrtle Beach at SB&B. They're gonna have that Hairball again, and we've only seen them once. And if you've ever seen them, they're a Florida band. But what they do is they dress up. They have like 8 or 10 singers.
A few singers. I don't know if they have that.
I think they got at least 8. And what they do is they differ every night. Like down in Daytona, they'll be actually over at, is it Broken Spoke? Yeah,
Broken Spoke.
Broken Spoke, and they'll play like 4 or 5 nights in a row. But they
It's
have
never the same
yeah.
show.
So like they'll do one show and it might be Prince or it might be Van Halen, and the guy dresses up, looks like him, and sounds just like him. It's almost like going to a Vegas show, and that's what they said. That's what
they call it.
Jay, what's Jay's last name? Alan says. He says it's an act from Vegas, and they could be, and so they're going to be at Myrtle Beach. So hopefully, but see, a lot of these concerts for us, because we're editing, starts at 9. Now this year we're staying at the state park in Myrtle Beach
Okay, David.
for the fall, so we'll be a little bit closer to SB&B. So it may not be a little easier to see it and stay a little later and see that, but that'll be their busy night that they're going to do it. So that'd be pretty neat. That's about the only concert I've seen so far there that I'd like to see. But I was really shocked that the OC one, Ocean City, actually had such big name bands there. I had no idea.
Did you go see George Thorogood, Kevin? I love George Thorogood. We went to see him once in Laughlin. One of the best concerts I've been to.
Who?
George Thorogood.
I don't know what's in that tea. Taste that. It's raspberry or something.
Well,
I just ruined my tea.
What, did you pour it all in that one?
Yeah, I poured it into my new ice.
Yeah.
They'll give me some different tea. I'm about to puke.
He's gonna drink
I'm gonna
water.
Have to drink water.
Oh my gosh, it must have been bad. He never drinks water.
Oh. All right. I can talk now. Phew-wee. I don't like raspberry iced tea. Not for me. So that's a couple of things that we wanted to talk about tonight is that. If you guys got anything you want to know about, let us know. We're going to be doing some stuff here. As soon as I get a little bit of a break, we're going to make up 2 lists. List of Harley Davidson dealers that are recommended by you guys, which we got a big list there about 6 months ago. And that told people that said, and I had a lot of dealers, some of them we've already dealt with and I already knew they were good dealers. And then we're going to make another list of dealers that we don't recommend. But the only way you're going to be able to see that is on a Patreon side, on the $9 one, because we're going to try to stop. We really don't want to badmouth somebody. But if I get a few complaints from somebody and it's somebody that we've gone in and tried to talk to them and we can't get anything with them, then we would recommend not dealing with that dealership. And we always take that. If you've got anybody like that you've dealt with that recently, not somebody, hey, 10 years ago, I had this dealership that did this and this and this. They probably got all new management by now. And so there's always, and we're happy to get involved with this. We actually had a dealer, one of our one of our subscribers had an issue with the dealer. We called them up and the dealer actually went up and above to us to make things right for them. And I'm not quite sure how it all turned out, but the dealership was actually overwhelmed. The general manager talked to me, was overwhelmed that we would do that for free. Why? What I had in it? I said, nothing. It's about having a good relationship, because the difference between me is I was union president and I've owned a lot of businesses and stuff like that, automotive. And so I've dealt with people all my life. And there's always people out there. Well, we'll go both ways. There's people that own businesses that don't know how to take care of people. And there's also people out here that don't know how to deal with a business.
Sorry about that.
That's
So I
right.
did get you a new coat.
Okay. Okay. All righty. Thank you.
Yeah, you're very welcome. Enjoy.
Okay.
If there's anything else you guys need, just holler.
Thank you. So I'm gonna drink a little bit of soda here to get rid of that taste.
Soda. Oh, she gave me a soda too.
Mm-hmm. Oh, maybe you asked for both. Hoo-wee. That was up.
It wasn't, I don't even think it was raspberry. I
don't know
think
what
it
it
tastes
was.
like they had bacon grease in it or
I
something.
don't
It
know
was
what
nasty.
it was. I've never tasted anything like that. I drink my soda.
Yeah.
So now I forgot what I was talking about. I don't know. Oh, we were talking about taking care of dealers and taking care of people. And I understand that there's some people in this world you just can't keep happy. Like one of my, for instance, that I used all the time is, let's say you go to a Harley dealer and they sell you a bike and you pay $5,000 more than you could have bought it someplace else for. Let's say you bought the bike, you pull in a dealership a year, 6 months later, 3 months later, and you see the exact same bike, same as everything's the same for $5,000 less. Now you're mad because you paid that. Well, that's actually your fault because you didn't educate yourself. There's so much stuff out here, YouTube and eBay, and there's guys selling dealerships are selling motorcycles on Craigslist. They're on
Cars,
eBay,
too.
all this stuff because they're looking for sales wherever they can get them at. And same thing, a lot of Harley dealers will trade bikes back and forth. So like we just talked to the Indian dealer, and that's what they said. They were trading bikes with down here in Columbia, Missouri. They were trading bikes with Indian in Sturgis. So that's not an uncommon. Good dealers will do that. There are some dealers that won't do that. Which when we talk about this on our Patreon, we do have some dealers. They own about 28 dealerships, and they don't trade with nobody. They say screw all the well. They're the ones
That was
that
in
actually.
St. Louis.
What?
The St. Louis guy said that they don't trade.
Oh no, it's that. But
They
No.
said it was the guy in Nashville, that Harley dealer wouldn't trade with nobody, and they own one or two in St. Louis.
I don't know. I thought it was your good buddies that don't trade either.
Oh, they probably don't.
That's the one
They
I
have
heard.
trade among themselves. What 2 places would you recommend for good food and drinks at Lake of the Ozarks?
Well, we love the barbecue. We ate at
Wobbly Boots.
Yep, Wobbly Boots was really good. We were very pleased with it. Sauce wasn't the greatest, lot like here. Missouri here seemed to have gone more with a vinegary type barbecue sauce. We like a sweet barbecue sauce. We're not in the spicy or anything like that. A good sweet
Tasty
barbecue.
Masterpiece is a good
And then
base to start.
I start with that and I spice it all up from there. But so what else do we recommend down at Lake of the Ozarks? What else did we eat that was really good? Actually, was the buffet.
Oh, Golden Corral.
Golden Corral, but they're only open limited hours now because they got no staff. But I mean, we went in there like at 3 o'clock in the afternoon, and what they were doing was instead of cooking a whole bunch of chicken and letting it sit in there and get rotten, they'd cook 4 or 5 pieces at a time.
Cold.
So you
not
go
rotten.
in there and it would be everything was still hot. The only thing I had was the corn was rubbery. But other than that, everything else was perfect. All the meat was we like the fish that they have. And the fish was good. She had a whole bunch of different things that she tried, and she didn't complain about nothing either.
I like usually their pot roast they have too. That was always real good with some gravy and all that kind of
So
stuff.
that was kind of neat. So actually we ate there for lunch and we ate there for breakfast. Breakfast was pretty good too.
Hmm. Well, the thing I liked about it, the same thing, they only put a couple of biscuits out because even in the evening they had biscuits and gravy. So I got me a little biscuit gravy, but the biscuits were so soft and warm. They weren't. A lot of times at those buffets, they're kind of hard when you break them apart.
That's steamers and stuff. They dry them out. Even though they got a steamer, it still dries them out, gets them hard. So those are the 2 places we did eat at. Where else did we eat at? I think every place else, we didn't eat a lot of places. Now, we did eat breakfast at, we ate at that Red Lodge, what was it, Red something, that we had the pizza at, that had the giant.
Oh, Redheads.
It was all right. The pizza was all right. It wasn't.
Oh, where do we eat that had the good? But then we ate at the second. Oh, Shady Gator.
Shady Gators. We ate the pizza in the bar. It had a different cheese on it than the one that they serve at
But
the
see,
concert.
I don't think it was thin crust in the bar, was it? It wasn't thick crust, but it wasn't.
Yeah.
French.
But I mean,
we asked for
the
thin
one
crust.
out there was all right too. It was thin. It was. See, one place we ate pizza at the other day, and they burnt the bottom of it.
Yeah, I remember
It
where
was.
that was at the Redheads.
Yeah, the Redhead. So we weren't overly happy with that. I mean, we only got a pizza.
But those are the ones that had the pepperoni. He said that were like that big. I'm pretty sure that was the place. So, so David Prime, he says you're going to see us in Arkansas. What days you're going to be there? Oh, I wanted to look up the state.
So
too.
we're going to talk a little bit about bikes, blues, and barbecue. And no, we already had an extra land there.
Oh, thank you.
And what we found out is last week
October
somebody
16th.
told us that lives down there that it's funny now that the city of Fayetteville is issuing permits for, I think it's Dickinson Street.
Yeah.
If Jeff's on there, it's Jeff, right?
Yeah, Jeff.
He'll say what the street's name for sure. But we heard they're issuing permits now for that. But we're hearing from some of our.
Did you ever get your situation cleared up, Jeff?
I don't think he cared.
Oh,
think he's
he's
gonna
still going to do it no matter what.
So I think that he's not him, but I think what we heard from a couple of our reliable vendors is in Fayetteville along Dickinson Street, they're really just people selling T-shirts and souvenirs and that kind of junk. So it's really not much of a motorcycle stuff. I mean, even Sturgis Main Street's getting to be like that. They're selling a lot more junk than they, how many freaking t-shirt jobs you got to have in a block?
Oh,
You know?
Sturgis was like that. Sturgis
That's what I
was
said.
horrible.
The Main
Oh
Street
my
in
gosh.
Sturgis, it's
And LaSalle, both of them
which
together.
we can explain to you why Sturgis, which is why are they selling mattresses downtown and why are they selling all this other crap in those stores? We can tell you. We will do a video on Patreon and we'll tell you why that's happening. We don't like to rap on cities and stuff because what we look at it with our channel, we try to give you positive information because you're only here for like Sturgis. You're going to go there for a handful of days and you're gone. Who cares what they do the rest of the year to you? You're not there. It's
Ready
not
to
your
talk in
state.
a second? This is where we're at. We're in Branson, Missouri.
Like I say again, Branson, Missouri. The other thing I might
Oh.
be here. I've been
Branson, Missouri.
food.
Branson, Missouri, Liz. That's where we're at. That's what, who is,
And the food here was excellent. I normally don't eat everything. This is the first time I probably have ate a whole steak and never left no fat, nothing.
yeah, that's good for him. He usually always leaves some of his steak left.
I'm
So
not a
that was
fatty
really
guy.
cool. So Trump said,
Trump.
Trump, not Trump, Trump. He got all excited. Boy, if Trump calls him, he'll really
That would be
go
kinda
through the
special.
roof.
I don't think he's a motorcycle guy.
No, but Pence is. Maybe he can, I don't know. Anyway,
I don't like Pence around anymore. I don't think him and Trump get along anymore.
I don't know. Anyway, he did trout drivers. Hooker Run in Colorado for a tribute to the 9/11 and Desert Storm, and he said it was very humbling. So all those people that gave their lives and they rode in for a free country,
That's great.
which is true.
And there's a lot of that here. You can put that
What
on.
did you think, Jim?
On our Pating page. That's one of the places if you have video of, which we have some up there, that you can put on our Pating page. You can put anything like that down. You can put pictures of your bike, places you've been on your bike. We don't really want any YouTube stuff on there. If you've got something you want that is YouTube, you need to email it to me or message me first so I can see what it is. If it's something that like that, like say
I saw that.
you have a YouTube channel and you wanted that you did something like that, she was just saying, then I don't have a problem putting that on there.
Yeah.
But I don't want somebody just advertising, trying to get subscribers off
You
of
look
us.
like you have a mohawk. He didn't comb his hair for a weekend. Don't it look like he's got a mohawk? I think one side of his hair is darker than the other side.
It's probably because of the shadow. Like I don't know. It don't make. I could care less. Hair's hair. As long as I got some on my head. That's why I always say at the haircut. They always say, "Oh, how short you want it? It's supposed to be finger length on top, lay flat." Well, that and we've been riding the motorcycle,
Pants.
and with that new windshield, it catches right at the edge of my hair. So once I kind of put the hair stuff in it to hold it back. Then when I go, it all stands up. So usually it's more like,
Jeez.
but I mean, it is. It looks dark. I think it's because it's dark over there. There's lights on this side.
So it looks like he's got a mohawk.
Yeah, see if I turn this way at my hand. There you go. It's all dark now.
So I saw that shorty pants, and Liz, yes, I also saw that Cakes, Creams, and More. She said that was it's a 50 style diner. And we saw where, I didn't see it, but the 5 and Dime is.
Oh, here?
Yeah, remember when we went?
Yeah.
If we would have went straight, I think it would have been
It's too
5
crowded
and Dime.
today. It's Sunday. Tourists are here. So we're
So
going
maybe
to
tomorrow.
we're going to try to, she's going to do the laundry in the
Oh, it's
morning.
just Dixon Street.
I'm going to try to get,
Don't forget to give us a thumbs up if you're on. There
Yeah.
you go.
and so hopefully we'll get the motorcycle out tomorrow afternoon and we'll ride around because Monday here is usually a slow day because people don't come in here now to the weekend. If any of you want to know a little bit more about Branson, we used to come down here a lot, not so much now. We're going to drive around. If you guys want to see what Branson looks like, let us know. We can do a video on it. Other than that, I wasn't planning on it. We're only going to show you the some ride videos that we do when we get here, if we got enough time. Because we've already got, today's gone. So tomorrow, she's doing laundry and I'm going to do the video in the morning. So hopefully before lunch, we can get out and ride.
Is this the soda?
And, yeah. We can ride and get some videos around Table Rock Lake. And, Bass Pro Shop was neat. I don't remember it. We've been in so many other Bass Pros. We have one that when we lived in California, there was one there. We've been to the one, a whole bunch of different ones we've stopped at. One in St. Louis. We've been to the one in Las Vegas and all that. This is nothing compared to what you've seen. This is going to blow you away if you've never been to this Bass Pro Shop. Gigantic.
Yeah.
I bet you it's a half a mile long. Because when we did we were already halfway past the building and we wanted to go down to the outlet store and it said it was 3/10 of a mile to get to that. and we were already probably.
And it was just on the other
It may
side.
be longer than a half a mile long, and it's one constant building. It's gigantic. And then when we got ready to leave, she's like, "Where's the checkout lanes?" And then I'm
We
like, "I don't
couldn't
know. They gotta
find
be here someplace." Walked around. She goes, "Look, there's ice cream and fudge. Why didn't we see that when we walked by?" So we never came down this way. Because
I did have a muffin in there, a chocolate muffin. They put cinnamon in it.
but somebody still ate it all
I
up.
don't like cinnamon and
Well,
chocolate.
and how much did you throw away? Well, I guess it was good enough to eat. Like it wasn't like me. If I don't like it, I just throw it in the
I
trash.
know. Well, I paid for it. I'm going to eat it.
I throw it in
So
the trash.
anyway, Howie says he's got a timeshare here in Branson. So do we. It's at Westgate, the Woods. Is that where yours is at? Casper Troy said Trump had OCC make him, that's soda.
I know.
No, had OCC make him a chopper. I think I saw that. Didn't they give it to him? Wasn't it like all gold and everything?
No, I don't remember that.
They gave it to, I remember something like
I
that.
remember being at the White House and he honored the Harley Davidson Corporation, and then Harley was going to go overseas more, and then he kind of badmouthed them, and they all got mad. So I know about the remember that, but
So your hair looks like a mean gremlin. Ate 3 times there on vacation. That was at that Shorty Pants. Didn't hear if you liked BikeFest. I had a great time. Hope it
Like at the
continues to
Ozarks?
grow. Yeah.
it was definitely different. Which is what if the live we had the other night, we talked about it, is and some of the bars, well, Shady Gators wants to talk to us about some things to do. You have 2 things that you could do in Lake of the Ozarks.
To make
One,
it grow.
you could ride your bike. Lots of places to ride your bike. Great place. Ride around the lake. You can do all kinds of great stuff. What else can you do? Drink. That's it. Nothing else to do. There's nothing. There's a handful of dealers. There was probably 4 to 5 vendors that actually had something to do with motorcycles. The rest of them were some guy there selling that ceramic coating. He wasn't even putting it on. So I don't know what he was doing. He just had this little bitty tent, like a 5x10, like you get down at Costco or someplace. He's sitting there with his girlfriend or his wife, whoever she was, just sitting there. And they had a bike in front of them. They had no product, no nothing. They had a big banner saying the best last a lifetime. And the guy next to him was selling steps for a boat dock. Now, granted, it's a boating community, and it could be, but this ain't there's one thing that Lake of the Ozarks is not shy on is boat dealers. Most of them are out of business right now because they once the season ends after Labor Day, they just close the shop up, haul the boat someplace else. Maybe they take them to Florida or something, and the buildings are just empty. But you can tell they were in business. But there's probably still 100 of them still in business, and probably 500.
And that was just there in Lake Ozark and
Yeah.
Osage Beach.
So there's nobody's So, but I mean,
what did it say the lake was? 55,000 acres? The lake is
550,000.
500.
550,000 acres is how big the lake was. I forget what the mileage it was. It's supposed to be one of the people, and I've heard this before, that Lake of the Ozarks has more coastline than the state of California has. And because there's all these little ears in it, and the coves are great. And we've had a boat out there. We've been out there on the lake, and it gets busy. You can get in a cove. It's like glass. It's so smooth. But that's a whole nother story. But what did I think about it? But some of the things, one, they definitely are hurting for some good vendors. There's a guy that was selling stereos. We had Bugs Fly there. We had Chubby Cups is there. There's other things there. Maria that sells the bandanas. That's kind of a motorcycle. Most of the girls have them. They bought them from them. So yeah, they're kind of, I don't really consider, they're more like wardrobe. They're more like
leathers,
leathers or chaps or accessories that you carry. But I mean, stuff for your bike. There was somebody there that did LED lights, which I don't know, it was just one little tent. Didn't even see their stuff. So I don't know where they were getting if they were even doing lights, if they just had a display. And LA Choppers was there, and they were doing handlebars. And they had a deal tied in with the Harley dealer in there. And that's about it.
Jim wanted to know what you thought about the hanging chairs at the Harley shop.
The hanging chairs.
Those swinging chairs. That was Jim. That's the one we went to the Jackal concert with. Jim and Sandra. I'm sure they talked about that.
Here's what happened. So the vendors are all setting up when we get there. Was it Tuesday? I guess we started on Wednesday. So Tuesday, and we kind of just do a walkthrough with the camera. And she was up at the dealership trying to get a hold of the manager to talk to him. Set something up. So I walked down to the bottom of the hill. This guy's setting up his booth. And I'm like, I've talked to him for a while now. And I go, watch who we talk to. You know, I don't do the bracelet people, you know, magnetic bracelets and all the other crap, recliners and all the stupid stuff that they sell. And I said,
Swinging
and
chair.
people that sell swinging chairs. You know, what the hell are you doing with a swinging chair at a freaking rally? Guy goes, I sell chairs.
The swinging chair.
I said, well, how the hell are they going to get them home? He said, well, I give free shipping. Well, okay, whatever. But I mean, do you actually go, you know, I see they have them in Panama and in Myrtle Beach at the dealership. They have them they have them there hanging. They have them in Rapid City hanging there. How many, is there anybody on here that has bought a hanging chair at a rally? Let me know. I really want to know. And then I want to know what you paid for it too.
Well, you got to remember what Art bought.
Well, but he stopped it after I told him how stupid he was. Well, he bought a recliner in Sturgis.
One of those massaging recliners.
And everybody said, and he thought it felt so good. He thought it'd be great to sit at home. And Art's one of these guys that
he's an
spends money
impulse
with,
buyer.
yes.
If right then and there he likes it, he buys it. So
then I ended up talking to him and he ended up canceling it. Was Art on there?
no,
Oh.
Jim said no, he didn't buy it, and he's never bought a swinging chair.
And well, we bought one in Mexico. And I killed it. She hung it up, and I sat in it, and the damn thing fell apart.
Who hung it up? You hung it up.
It was the straps that broke, wasn't the hook that was holding it up. I ended up on my back.
We were in the backyard, and he hardly ever sat in it. So we were out there one night, and he goes to sit in it, and he went to rock it and went bam.
I ended on my back. Should have sued the damn Mexico they made me.
That's what you get when you buy it in Tijuana.
That's right. You got exactly what you paid for.
It wasn't funny. That's probably why his back's jacked up.
Could
One of the
be.
reasons.
Could be why my shoulder hurts. Maybe I landed on my shoulder. I don't remember. That's been about 10 or 15 years ago.
See, now it's funny, but he wasn't laughing back then either.
No.
So maybe one day he'll laugh about the windshield.
So yeah, so that's why we do. We try to, and then you might always, a lot of you might even, nobody ever asked this question, but some people would say, why do you always do the same vendors all the time? Well, the reason we do the same vendors is, one, we have a lot of people that come in on our rallies, watch us the first time and don't know nothing. They, like this year, I don't know how many hundreds of people we've met that said, we loved your videos. The first time I ever went to Sturgis, I had no idea what was going on. You guys helped me so much. We've had other people that would watch our videos and they're like, we were one day behind you. We'd watch it in the morning. We go do everything you did that day. Then we get up the next morning at 9 and we watch what you did then. We go do that stuff. So he says, we were always one day behind you. We could never catch up. But you can't because it's always a day late.
Yeah.
And so
unless we do start doing more lives.
yeah, so which we may do. We've tried to do a few more now. And we've actually had some people show up, which is kind of shocking. We had quite a few people last night show up at
H Toads.
Yep, H Toads. We probably had a dozen or so people. I was very shocked that many people came up. Except for Mexi Philly. He came and he thought it was the meetup that we were having with all the other YouTubers. I said, that was in the morning. You got mixed up. So he still hung around a little while and he left. But he thought he was going to get to meet a bunch of other YouTubers.
So
But
where
they're
we're
gonna-
at today, there we go.
It's called Charlie's Steak, Ribs, and Ale. And it's in
Branson, Missouri.
Branson, Missouri. It's on the strip, the 76. It sits way down in this hole. Actually, the internet was pretty good. Well, we're using our phones, not their internet. We was able to get a good signal, so here we are. And the food was excellent.
Don't forget to give us thumbs up if you're on there.
Especially when you come to these tourist towns like this. They actually had a 3.7 rating with Yelp. A lot of people complain. And food, she had the macaroni and
Pulled pork
pulled
bowl.
pork bowl. I had a steak and a baked potato, and we both had salads, and we ate everything. It was great. It was no complaints. Everything was hot, fresh, and good. Service was good. But I mean, when we come to right now, when we're doing this, we're not in no hurry because we're tying up their space. Actually, they don't have this side of the restaurant open, so they're doing. It's getting a little loud. Whoa! Somebody wrote an essay.
Yes, they did.
And you have to read that and not put it up. And see what it all says. So that's some of the things that we think about when we're at rallies. So this is a great place to eat. If you ever come to Branson, put this on your list of things to eat. And there's probably a lot of great places here. But this is the slow time of the year. They'll be having their fall rally here, or not rally, but it's a lot of the seniors come in here in the fall. They really fix it all up. And then they got a big thing for Christmas here. And then it dies till spring. And but fall and Christmas here in the Ozarks gets really big. And they have a lot of stuff. We've never been down here Christmas time. We always talk about it. We always figure we get stuck in snow. Snows here a lot, deep snow. You won't go nowhere.
No.
And so,
And it's very hilly too. So,
what do y'all have to say? Anything?
so that's Jeff from the cat house, and
Oh, okay.
he's one. He doesn't believe
We
that.
want to put him up because you
Yeah.
can't see anybody.
Well, let everybody read it, see what he had to
Well, you can go on
say.
Facebook and see it.
But anyway, what he thinks is Jeff thinks the motorcycle rallies are more about people meeting people, having fun, making memories than vendors. So we say there's three things that make a rally great, and all rallies are different. But he said there've always been Eureka's more of a motorcycle town and not much vendors. But I think you're probably going to get a few more vendors this year because since Fayetteville wasn't going to have so
It
much.
depends on what the city allows. Some cities don't allow having vendors. So we'll go back up. Nobody's writing a comment. Well, I know what he's thinking because he owns a bar,
Yeah.
and
And that's one of the biggest components about a
and it also
motorcycle
depends.
rally.
Just like here, we just went to Shady Gators. He owns Lazy Gator and Shady Gator, very large property. This guy, actually, the person that owns the place, actually, super chat.
Thank you, Mike Bodine. Thank you.
Appreciate that. Million thanks. But what people look at when you own a bar is two different things. One, you're looking at, you really want people to drink and you want them to spend money there. That's what your main goal is, not to fill your lot up with a bunch of vendors and they're paying you $500 for a booth and you're getting nothing else out of them. So I understand business. I have no problem with somebody having business. But like here with Shady Gators, what he wants to do is he doesn't know anything about a motorcycle crowd, which I imagine Jeff here has been doing it for a long time. He knows a lot about motorcycle events. And they're all different. It's just like Four Corners. We had a bunch of people tell us about Four Corners this year, and that's pretty much all it was a drink fest. And that's fine. But with vendors, I say good vendors. See, what I look at is just like here, Lost Lake of the Ozarks, windshield got broke. Where did I have to go? To the dealer. Is there any place else I could have bought a windshield at? No. Jeff City, 100 miles away, maybe.
Well, that would have been at a dealership too.
Well, yeah, because you could, cycle gear. Nobody had anything in stock. So that's the problem I have. Because that's
You're going to the motorcycle rally, so if you need something for your bike.
And people say it all the time. Why do you buy stuff at the rallies? Well, first of all, that too. One, I get to go talk to Vance and Hines. I get to go talk to JMP Cycles. I can go talk to the owner of Clockworks that sells the windshields. I can talk to that man. I can talk to the people that build whatever. But all those vendors are there. You know, instead of going to the dealer and paying, instead of going to the dealer and paying $1,200 for an interfering on her motorcycle, I could have went to
Fairing Exchange.
Yeah, Fairing Exchange and got it for $600 to $800. Painted, done, get it all done within about an hour or so, and I'm riding it home. I don't have to order it and wait for it and for them to show up and then put it in the shop. And a couple days later, we go back and pick it up, which is what we did.
It was about a month. My bike was on.
Well, so
that was a long time. Like
it was a surprise. She didn't know she was getting it.
And he told me my bike had a flat and they had to come pick it up and they took it all the way to Temecula. And I'm like, yeah, couldn't have called Fullerton right down the street?
It was her, I don't know if it was her birthday or
anniversary. You wrote that little thing about my.
But it was something, it was a holiday, something was coming up too while you got it. It was Valentine's Day. And
anyway, I was shocked.
So that's one of the things that why I like to have vendors. But no, the guy selling My Pillow, or the guy selling mattresses, or the guy selling magnetic bracelets, or the guy that's selling
the face cream and all that stuff.
Selling CBD oils and all that stuff. And we got a friend that sells CBD oil, and she talked about it. And there's a place and a time for that. But I don't know if it's at a rally. Now, if I got a bunch like Harley Davidson in Rapid City, I don't know if Jeff's ever been to Sturgis, because that's what I said. That's what makes Sturgis the perfect rally, because you've got all three. You've got vendors. You got some of the best, well, to me, it is the best riding in America is in the Black Hills. It's because it's, I can get in the Black Hills and never hit the highway ever. I can wind around, not driving through farmland. I could be driving hills and curves and switchbacks and all that weeks and never hit the same road twice. where I know there's some great rides in Fayetteville and all this stuff. And we've been
The
talking
big
to some people,
trail.
but they said it's a drive to get to the big trail and then get up it. And then you got to turn around, come back down. You can't, it takes too long. If you go around, you're going to get back on highways and stuff like that. So I understand that can happen. So that's the difference. Just like Lake of the Ozarks here. It was a 76-mile ride we did. 20 of it was highway miles, 10 there, 10 back. So, which is fine. I've rode through Wyoming, which is nothing but a straight road. So that is, but that's my point of, I say what makes the three things is,
Oh, Jeff said he went to Sturgis. He just got back from
okay.
Sturgis.
So you got vendors, you got the best riding you can have, and you have the best meeting people.
In our opinion, he likes Sturgis the best. But we haven't been to Laconia. We haven't been to Oceanside, Ocean City.
I just don't think you're gonna. Yeah, you get some price, just like California. It's priceless to ride, which is, there's one stretch that I think is my best ride that I've ever rode, but it has nothing to do with curves. It's riding the bluffs of California on the one between San Francisco and Leggett, California. It's a 200-mile stretch, and it's the same place where, why do I think it's so famous? Because all your car commercials, when you see cars riding on the cliffs, it's filmed in that strip. So there's a reason that it sells. So, which it is, and everybody has a different opinion, and which I'm okay with that. But what I look at is an event, and Sturgis also, and Daytona kind of does it, but Daytona is too stretched out. Because if you want to be like in Jeff's case, you got the great bar. Well, you go down to Deadwood, or you can go to Hill City, and you can stay there the whole time through the rally, and you can sit around in bars, and you can drink, and you can meet a lot of friends if that's what you want to do. That's it. But and there's other people that don't want to buy nothing for their bike. You know, they don't mind taking it to the
They
dealer.
get their bike all fixed up before they go to
Well,
Sturgis.
they don't mind going to the dealer and spending $5,000 for something that you could get it for $1,000. You know, the dealer's charging $150 to $200 for labor, and their parts are marked up gigantically. And if you go in there and buy, just like my windshield, I'll bet you $200 windshield. I bet you I could have got it for about $1.25 from not getting a discount, just getting a normal price on it. But dealerships have to mark all that crap up. They want to make 50% on it. And that's what they make.
So where is Beartooth Pass? I've heard of that, but I don't know exactly where it is. And Ken says there's a lot of great rides out here in the Ozarks too.
Which,
Ken, are you going to Eureka Springs this year? We were talking about that. He said he went last year, and where he stayed at was nice.
which I know there's always great rides. It's just like we were with the Badgers this week, just for a little while. That was a meetup. Doesn't matter if you guys know who they are or not, but they're a YouTube channel. And they were going to go ride out with some people that actually live locally. Now, we have a couple people that want to meet up with us in Eureka Springs that lives very close to there. And they're going to take us out on some of the rides. And which it is, I imagine, which it is, I have never had a bad ride. Even riding in 405 traffic in Los Angeles where the traffic is stopped. Because I split lanes.
It's a parking lot.
And so, yes, I've never had a bad ride anywhere. So I understand that, but there's rides like, it's like my ultimate dream would be to take something like Iron Mountain and have somebody close off both ends, and I could ride it by myself. Nobody around me. Thank you.
Ken.
Appreciate you. Million thanks.
Yep.
Ba-ding.
Bob, would you please give us your opinion?
I'm trying.
So Devin Mike says their favorite riding is up in Laconia. They like it up there in New Hampshire, they said. And we haven't been there yet.
But see, it rains a lot. And a lot of people that say they go to Laconia, you're gonna
rain
see
in Sturgis?
last 2 years, hasn't? How many times? We've only really been caught in the rain out of all the time we've been twice.
But I mean,
Once
normally,
both times were floods.
well, when we were up there for a long period of time, it rained at some
but
point
it didn't
in time.
stop. But how many times did we get wet on the bike? So that's the difference. Is just like in Florida, it rains a lot in Florida, and we've actually been very, very lucky with our rallies
Have to be thankful
that we've had really, really good weather.
Well, even
this weekend was good. It
the
rained.
BikeFest.
It rained at night only, and by
Like
the
that
next morning,
Wednesday night,
they were
I think.
predicting rain almost half the day on Wednesday. And we got up, and she broke the windshield. Had to get a new one on Tuesday, and I figured there's no way we're gonna get to ride it till probably Wednesday or Thursday. And by then the rally started, and we wanted to do riding before that. So the rain came, rained that night. Got up in the morning, sun was shining, and it's like, let's go. And
Ding,
So we
they
didn't get a chance to ride as much as we wanted. This next Bike Blues and Barbecue are kind of the same way too, because what you got to look at with us, one is when she gets out of bed and gets ready to go and starts out.
He has
then-
to tell me a time. If I ever not been up and ready when you said I want to leave by a certain
And then
time.
if we set up other things in the day, because that's what happened on the ride we had. Everybody wanted to know where we were going to be, and I said, okay, at 11 o'clock. No, it was 2 o'clock. 2 o'clock on Wednesday, it was Wednesday. The Harley dealer was going to open the vendors up. We would be there to meet anybody that wanted to meet us. Nobody showed up. We were about 15 minutes late, but we got held up on that ride and coming back on it. So we never really had a chance to really go ride again, because when we set up, like just like here, this live that came out at 5, we try to get here around 3:30, 4 o'clock. We eat our meal, spend some money with them, and then hang out here. So that kind of takes. So at 3 o'clock today, we would drove around for about an hour trying to figure out where we can do it. Well, we were going to do it downtown, but signal sucked downtown. We'd be all, you wouldn't be able to see us right now. So we had to come
Devin
back.
Mike said we got wet in Daytona. Remember when we went to Ponce Inlet, Ponce de Leon, and we ate and we got soaked coming home.
Yeah.
Yeah, we did get wet down there. That was last fall. Must have been Biketoberfest last year.
But see, we've rode in the
So
rain.
Jim,
So it's not the end of the world. But the part that kills her is when we went up to Sturgis, the last time she rode her bike, we went up through all the way up to 1. And it was misty and it was like 40 degrees and she couldn't ride anymore.
when I got off my bike, my hands were like this for like an hour. I couldn't straighten them out.
Arthritis.
It was
So
horrible.
and that's the other thing we have to watch when you get the damp, cold weather. She can't. At that time, we didn't have heated seat. Well, she was on her own bike, so she didn't have no heated seat. She had heated gear. I don't think she had the heated gloves at that time. She had a
No.
heated vest, and heated pants, not a glove. She got gloves now. Never used them, but she got gloves. It heats. And so that's what we look at. And I think, well, if you look at it, what is the largest attendance of rallies? Sturgis. I mean, well, it is. Nobody
I
does.
have no
Nobody
idea.
does the attendance at Sturgis. A lot of people try to say, like Daytona. When we went down there, they're like, "Oh, Daytona's the biggest thing you're ever seen." No, it's not. They got about half of usually what it is. And I don't believe any of these numbers. It's just like here at Lake of the Ozarks. We did a quick count. That was a quick count. We counted the bikes in a quarter of a mile or in a tenth of a mile that were on the strip at a same. She went down and counted them all in that mile. And then what we did is we rode the rest of the strip and then we multiplied that and then we added for that. They had on the strip on Saturday, they had about 2,000 bikes on the strip. It looked like a lot. If you look at my videos, it looks like a lot of bikes. 2,000 bikes is a lot of bikes. You know, we used to do it in Laughlin, and they'd have parking lots packed full. And it was only 20,000 bikes, 10,000 bikes is all that was there. And that's not a lot. But see, the cities want to take Sturgis. They're all like that. Oh, we had 100,000 people there that year. You know why they do that? Because they want the big vendors to come in and spend the money for it. Just like this year. Oh, it was going to be 1 million plus people. I believe we had as large a crowd as we had the 75th. You're going to say, oh, wow, there's no way we did. Here's why. We had the pre-rally on that Monday. I'll bet money we had as many people there as we did the previous year in 2020 on that Monday. Okay. So let's say we had 250,000. We'll just leave it at that, which I know there was more than that in 2020. So in 2021, they don't start counting till Friday of opening day of the rally. They don't count anything before. So then normally during the rally on Wednesday, a lot of people go home during the rally and another group comes in. You know how many came in? Slim to none. Even the vendors told us what happened to the crowd, the second crowd that came in.
didn't come.
We could see
They all
trailers.
came before.
Yeah. We seen the trailers leaving. We seen nobody coming in. We didn't see any motorcycles pulling. Even the Buffalo Chip said that. They hardly had anybody arrive after Wednesday of the rally. So that's what they're saying. We had about 750,000, right? That's what they're saying. We had about 750,000 in Sturgis this year. So if you take the 250,000, which I said was very conservative, got your million. So I think we might even had more. But a lot of the vendors don't come in that pre-rally. Just like Speeds and Farms Plus, they don't come in because you have to buy a whole another week's worth of permits. Plus, you got to pay for that extra lot. Some of these people are paying $5,000 to sit on the corner of their lot. So that'd have been $10,000 plus another or 5,000 more, plus another 1,500 for the permit from the city, and then hoping you're going to have some business. Typically, the pre-rally from 2020, maybe it's 10,000 people might have been there before in 2020. No big deal. But even when we talked to the vendors on Main Street, like One Sexy, which you can't say her name, and some of the other vendors that were there actually said June and July was the best months they've ever had pre-rally anywhere. So there was a lot of people coming in before. I know some were tourists. And this year, I think we had a lot more motorcycles come through than we had in 2020. 2020 had a lot of tourists there, a lot of tourists, a lot of kids. And you didn't see as many kids this year. Because in 2020, she was like, where are all these kids coming from?
And I asked them, I said, do you guys know it was Bike Week this week when you came in, or motorcycle rally? And they're like, oh, yeah, all right. I wouldn't have brought my kids. But anyway, Ken, it's Rocky Point, Mexico is what it's called. Isn't it Rocky Point Rally? Okay.
Anybody wants to ride with us? We're going to be going down there. I think it's November 10th. We'll be heading that way, or the 11th. We'll be heading down there. We'll be leaving from Phoenix. And or we can meet somebody at the border if they want to ride across from there. It's only 60 or 70 miles. Now, we've already got a place we're staying at for a relative. It's got a house we're going to stay at. You'll have to make your own arrangements if you have somebody else. But we'll be happy to ride with anybody who wants to go down there. We'll ride by ourselves. I'm not afraid. It's not that far. I can go pretty fast.
Steve Bates wanted to know, how did BikeFest compare with Florida and the South Carolina rallies as far as attendance? So yeah, very small. Maybe a quarter.
They were trying to. The first day we were there on Wednesday, the dealer was saying this is a record-breaking crowd for them to have on pre-rally for the first opening day, because the rest of the town doesn't really start going until Thursday. Yeah. So it did look like there was a lot of bikes around. We've seen a lot of bikes. We got there on Monday and we've seen lots of motorcycles riding around. But Missouri's a motorcycle riding town. Just like today, we rode here, and probably the first 2 hours we were on the road, we've probably seen 100, 200 bikes heading towards there for today. And because I was thinking, man, they're going to ride that far. Well, it's only like 80 miles. So it's not that far to ride on a bike, pulling a trailer down a windy road. It is. But I'm thinking, there's still a lot of them showed up. And we didn't go down there last night to see the final, how packed it was downtown. But I'm saying, my thought is maybe 20 or 30,000 people they had at Lake of the Ozarks this weekend, or this week. And that would be about my count. Hotels weren't sold out or anything like that. Even when we used to be in Laughlin, the hotels would be sold out. You couldn't even get a room anymore when it got to the weekends. So there were still rooms here I seen, but there's a lot more rooms here too. So that counts. But it's like talk about Myrtle. You go back and watch our final video of Myrtle Beach in the spring, and you see SB&B. You can look up. We see what that stands for. They yell at us. We put this on YouTube. There had to have been 10 or 20,000 people, maybe more than that were in that crowd listening to Saliva.
Oh yeah, there was that. It was that whole area was packed.
It was so crowded, and we got video of all that. So you can go back and look at that crowd. I'd have to talk to the owner there and see what they normally hold there. But last year's rallies you can't really compare because it was record-breaking crowds everywhere. Now we've come. There was that stimulus money and all that stuff coming out. We don't have any of that anymore. So a lot of the dealers now aren't selling it's like this year. I'm not looking to buy nothing. I got a lot of my work done last year. I got the header pipe put on my bike to get rid of the S&S pipe put on by Speeds to get rid of the converter, make the bike run a little cooler. Had the tuner, which of course they have to do a tuner. They did the tuner on my bike. We're going to talk about tuners. When we get a hold of Speeds next, we're going to sit down and talk about different tuners. Another YouTube channel did one on tuners. I'd rather have somebody that actually knows about dynos and stuff. Maybe get his dyno guy to come over and talk to us too about tuners and give you some real information versus somebody's opinion of what they like. Because everybody's got an opinion, just like me about rallies. What I see is which I don't know if Jeff's been to the rallies that we've been to. I don't ever see. Out of all the rallies we go to, I've never seen, even the big ones, I don't see any of the same people show up at all of them, which I know nobody went to Nashville. And I don't know if any of our subscribers were even in Nashville. I think we picked up some subscribers in Nashville. I guess we did a couple people we stayed with. Yeah. They are from Nashville. So they came to the rally. But there's local people there. But
there's a bunch of
most
people that saw us there.
Yeah, but I know, even somebody from Chicago probably isn't going to drive down to Nashville for that rally. Maybe not. Maybe I'm wrong. But a lot of rallies like Leesburg. I don't know if anybody was at Leesburg that we went to, and because it's a smaller rally, it's they call a lot of the rallies the 500-mile club, and it's people within 500 miles. And I think a lot of this Lake of the Ozarks was Kenneth. I think he was about 500 miles, I guess. Came
Yeah,
from
he was in
Texas,
Dallas.
Houston, Dallas.
Oh, I wondered, Kenneth, are you on yet? Did you make it home? I hope so.
And so that's one of the things that you've got to look at is what's drawing people. It's like Daytona, which is really crazy about Daytona is Daytona drags people from Maine and New York and all that down, but Panama City drags people from Illinois and Texas and Iowa and stuff like that. It's
Alabama.
like, that's weird. It's like it's in the same freaking state. Why would you not go to, but I mean, everybody's got their own. It's to your own and what you do. And maybe they think
because they're all on the coastline, and I guess they figure they just go stay on the coast.
I don't know.
Coastline people.
But it's
I
just,
don't know.
I would think a lot of the same people could go to, maybe one year I go to Panama City, maybe next year I go to Daytona. If I would have never done this, I would have never gone to any other rallies.
Talked about Daytona a couple times.
Yeah, well, I talked about it with my buddy Art that would be great if we could ride to Daytona from California. That was a dream. I don't know. By the time he finally retired, we'd be too damn old to drive that far, and are unable to ride that far.
So Ken says gas and weather usually puts a damper on Murder Beach.
Yeah. And it's like us. This may be the very last Myrtle Beach we'll ever do. Not that Myrtle Beach is a bad rally. It's just it's too stretched out. There's some great bars there. The Beaver Bar's there. SB&B's there. They've got the Broken. What's that one called?
Bones and Spokes.
Bones and Spokes. Used to be Broken Spokes, but they changed it to Bones and Spokes. They got a nice bar. They got a good crowd there. It's really neat. They got a pond in the back or river. I don't know what that is. Looks like Louisiana down there. It's a really neat setup, but it's just everything's stretched out too far, and that's a long way to go hang out in a bar.
He said that Tennessee seems like it would have nice places to ride your motorcycle. He went on one ride.
But see, a lot of times when we showed up there, we showed up the day we got there 2 days early, and I should have rode over to Trimble and went to Full Throttle's distillery. Every Friday and Saturday during the summer, they've got events, car shows and bike shows and something going on every weekend. Didn't know that. It was like 75 miles away, and I wished I would have done it because we were closer to it. And then the person we were staying with, they were 50 miles away from Loretta Lynn's ranch. And it was just too much on us to drive. I'm killing 2 hours just driving back and forth. That's time I could be editing or whatever. So that's what's important with us is we have to stay somewhat close or we don't get to see. Like here, this wasn't too bad. This was probably the longest trip that we drove was probably 12 to 15 miles from where we stayed. So we weren't really in the middle. We were probably about, I don't know. Yeah, I guess we were probably about 6 miles from the dealer and probably 6 miles to downtown, down to the strip. But then it was another 6 more miles to get to
Camden's on the cove or Camden on the lake. So they said, what's your opinion? You're not going to like this either. What's your opinion of Arizona bike weekend up in Cave Creek?
Well, Cave Creek's a different story. But Cave Creek, what's bad about Cave Creek is it's small, very small. There's a lot of bike builders that go there. It's really neat. Cave Creek is just different for that. They've got a unique draw where they bring a lot of those custom bike builders and stuff. We've only been there twice and seen the bikes at Cave Springs. So it's kind of neat. They don't have a lot of vendors, but the bad thing is Cave Springs so small, you can't Cave Creek, you can't really stay there. So you got to go find someplace else. Well, we've gone to Arizona bike. Yeah, you went the first time. First time we went with my buddy Art, and we went there probably 10 or 12 years ago. And what I don't like about them is they charge you to come in to their vendors. That sucks. And the concerts aren't that good. The only big band they had was Jackal. And luckily we bought our tickets way in advance. Only cost us $70 for the whole weekend. We stayed 2 days and we left. We weren't even there. We stayed for Jackal, I think, on Thursday night and Friday and Saturday.
I don't think we even left. We didn't go see Jackal that night.
Oh, we didn't? Mm-hmm. Oh, maybe we already blew him off.
I think it was Friday. We left Thursday, and he was Friday.
And so we were there like 2 days, and it's like, this is the only interesting thing was the Indian dealer.
So where's your picture window? It says, rest in peace, Arizona Bike Week. That's Dave. We had breakfast with him.
Now, we talked to somebody the other day, and they talked to me a couple of times, and I don't know who it is I keep talking to. That they've been talking to somebody in Arizona that has a giant, like a convention center, not down at Scottsdale, but someplace in real close to
Like
Phoenix.
Chandler or something.
Yeah, that there's a big enclosed building, and the guy's going to do not a bike rally, but he's going to do something that pertains to motorcycles. Like, I don't know what he's going to do, but he wanted to do it the week before Arizona Bike Week, to where it would kind of link it together. But that's the problem with that. And the dealer, one of the dealers there is one of the asshole dealers that we don't like to deal with. Used to be Chester's. I'll give you a hint. Stay away from them. And the other
That's
dealer,
in Mesa.
yeah. And same thing. It's everything's so far away. You got bad traffic there. We'll never go back to Arizona
It's a
Bike
big
Week.
metropolitan
And the
area.
people that are running it are great people. We sat down and talked to him and I think it's his wife or his girlfriend, or maybe it's his partner. And they're great people that put on Arizona Bike Week. But you're dealing with these cities. And that's another thing you got to look at, is a lot of times it's just like here, Lake of the Ozarks. It was Lake of the Ozarks City. That's the one that's giving them all the flack. And I granted some stuff happened, but I mean, more and more of these cities don't want us bad old bikers coming in. That's what it's really down to. They don't realize, and that's what I say. These little towns need to get, the businesses need to get together, and they need to go to City Hall and say, hey, just like Ross Myers did to Daytona. They went up to the city and said, you need to change what's going on, or we're going to move. This is the senior, the dad, Bruce Ross Myers. He went to the city and said, we'll move. Yeah, sure you will. We're going to go out and we're going to build a big giant place, and we'll take everything away from the city. No way. You're never going to do it. Here they are. They got the Clariton Hotel that they own. They've got, what do they got? 200 and some odd vendors on their parking lot. They've got some great bars on their parking lot. They got the barbecue place up front.
JP Cycles.
JP Cycles got their own. Well, now that Sturgis wasn't supposed to be open year round, but at that time was the only full-time open store. J&P Cycles was there. They brought all their vendors in. So, you could talk to Van Ness. You could talk to all these people and get good information. And what do you have down there on Main Street in Daytona now? Nothing. Got a bunch of bars, which is great. There's a lot of nice bars down there. We made friends with a lot of them. They got the special T-shirt contest there. They have at one of the bars every night, 2 or 3 times. I think it's twice a day. They have that contest going on, and and there's some great shops along there. We know the George's. They got the cigar shop. Great place to buy cigars, and so there's a lot of Chrome cigars. That's it. And so it's a really neat atmosphere, but
Saints and Sinners, that's
it's that's what I said. If I had any real money, I would go over to the Ormond Beach and I would make me a replica of Main Street in Daytona and call it Daytona 2 and watch all those bars move over there and screw Daytona. And because the city, what happens with a lot of this stuff, just like in Lake of the Ozarks here, Myrtle Beach, Murder Beach, and some of these other places, it's usually a handful of rich people that rule the cities. And they tell them, this is what we want you to do. Get rid of these damn bikers. We don't want to hear those loud pipes running around. We don't want to hear this and that. They don't realize the money we bring in. Just like at Lake of the Ozarks. Those guys are all bringing boats in. Most of them are all out there partying on the water. And here they're very unique. In Lake of the Ozarks, there's a lot of bars on the water. But 90% of the time, they're out on the water, not spending any money in town.
Yeah.
Bikers, what do? We have to find us a place to stay. Unless you're staying in your tent, most bikers, I would say probably 75% of bikers stay in hotels. Some's got trailers like we've got. Some people sleep in a tent. Some people might come for just a day. Right in, right out. So, but we have to come in and we don't have anything. So we got to spend, like us, even though we've got the trailer, we once in a while, we eat breakfast in the trailer. Other than that, we pretty much eat out every day in the towns that we're in. We spend money in those towns, and that's what makes this work. And the businesses need to step up and go to the cities and say, hey, if you're not going to change this, we're going someplace else. There's probably another town, just like around Lake of the Ozarks. There's probably another little city there that would just love to have the money coming in from a motorcycle rally. But then you got to get, it's with the rally, like Lake of the Ozarks, they're competing with Ocean City. You got to get the big people. You got to get the big boys to come in. And like I say, when you have the small rallies like we had in Nashville, and you have in a lot of Leesburg, and you have a lot of these little towns that have a handful of vendors come in, and it's great, but it's more of an atmosphere of like a fair, a local county fair, where it's just a good time for people to come out, have a good time, listen to some bands, have some beer, have some great food, or have some carnival food, and then go home. And that's great. And a lot of people like that. It's like when we used to live in California, we used to have a lot of real bikers that drove down to the bar about 5 miles down the town on Saturday and sat there all day long,
That was
drinking
their
their
ride.
beer, got back on their bike, and they said, "We're bikers." I go, "Well, come on.
Right.
Well, we're going this weekend for a 3-hour ride."
Scott Valley said Maggie Valley is a great place to ride in North Carolina. A couple people agreed with that. And Traveler agreed with that. That being said, he's been to Ormond Beach. He ate at Sinners and Saints just today, I think he said. And oh, thank you, Ken. Ken gave us another $10.
Thank you. Super appreciate it.
Don't forget to give us a thumbs up if you're on. Give us
You forgot to
a.
paint your little happy guy on there so you can.
I know
keep
I
you
did,
smiling.
so they can talk.
Yeah, she'll make a finger talk.
Anyway, listening to another ambulance blowing their horn down 17 on Murder Beach. Stephen, he's down there in Murder Beach.
And I had no idea. And so that just shows you how towns are. Just like here in Lake of the Ozarks, they had a shooting and everybody knew about it. You know, things happen in Sturgis too. People have been stabbed, people have been shot, and things like that. But you don't hear none of that, do you? Because the city knows, even Rapid City, the newspaper and the TV station, they all know how much money. I heard from the newspaper, I don't remember what it was. I think it was $9 million the city of Rapid City collected in sales tax for the week that we were there. It was just
That's just
unreal.
in sales tax, not
that's-
in sales.
yeah,
That's the
sales
tax.
And it was like, holy crap. Just think what Sturgis brought in. You know, or the Buffalo chip, how much their taxes they paid. Another super chat?
No, but
Same
still
one?
can.
Oh,
Still
okay.
can.
And,
Waffle House breakfast. He wants you to go to Waffle House.
we'll put it this way, Kim. If you buy a Waffle House and you own it and you get a list inside where you're checking people off so they can sign up, I'll come and eat at your restaurant. No
Oh my
problem.
God.
I'll Patreon your
We got
link.
4 minutes. You'll be on 2 hours.
Okay, well, almost ready to end our show.
Eastern Kentucky has endless riding. I know all these. It's very hilly down here, so it's really nice. Because up north, like going through, well, Colorado's got some hills.
Well, see,
but Wyoming,
that's
pretty flat.
I've rode on a lot of roads, and it's just
Illinois
like
is
people
flat.
talk about the what's the one in Tennessee?
What now?
The ride everybody talks about in Tennessee,
Oh,
Tail of the Dragon.
Yeah.
And the more I talk to people, they actually said you will be disappointed. It's not what people talk about rides and they say, oh, it's so great. It's this and that and this and that. And then I get out there and I ride it and it's like, okay, it was a nice ride. I'm not going to complain, but it's not one of my top 5 rides that I would consider. Maybe 5th one. It wouldn't be. So it's you'd have. You retire for a year, give me about 3 years, and we'll go on some rides all around the United States. I'll show you my favorite rides. We'll ride on your favorite rides. And then at the end, we'll see how it goes.
We like
And because it's everybody's riding experience. Because even on the coast where I talk about, there's 4 switchbacks. You would never even dream of seeing that on the coast. Plus, if you look to the left, it's probably a 500-foot drop off into the ocean. And you're riding on this. Sometimes you have to drop down to the 10 or 15 miles. It's what makes that ride so special, which it is my number 1 ride. I have said that Iron Mountain's my number 1 ride. Iron Mountain's my number 1 ride because I can go to it.
Do a top 5 ride video with a video.
Yeah. Well, we got to go on and get all the videos. I've got the Sturgis stuff. I've also got the one that's by us that's a Sidewinder. Come to Arizona, go out to Oatman, and
Get the Sidewinder.
Tell me how you do it. And tell me how fast you can stay doing it. Because this is pretty much curve from curve to curve to curve to curve. There's no straightaway.
You don't have to see how fast you
No,
go.
but I mean, that's when you ride on a ride, to me, which it is, I'm not the fastest guy. There's people that have passed me up too. And when I'm riding, when she's on the back, it's a whole different story. But riding by myself, I can usually keep up with most people. But there's some people, I know a guy that used to ride a bike that his elbow touched the ground when he makes a turn. I can't do that. And I'm still afraid of sliding across the asphalt. And but I mean, I like a nice swervy road. Switchbacks aren't. I'm not a big switchback guy because by the time you almost got to come to a stop. By the time you roll around, you're doing 5 miles an hour around that switchback because most of them's got chat in them. You really can't do too much. unless you know there's no cars coming the other way. But so I'm not a big switchback guy, but I do like a lot of back-to-back turns where you're in a 90-degree turn.
I don't think we've ever been on that one. Tim
Which
says there's 89A is another good ride in Arizona. I don't know if 89. Is that down by Tucson?
Well, there was another good one that I did, but I got to talk to the guy that took us on it. He was coming back from Reno one year. We drove this back road, and it was like, I don't know, 50 miles. And most of the road was one lane. And that got to be, by the time you got halfway through, it's like, I can't keep doing this. It's constantly back, forward, and back for 50 miles. And it's like, I'm finally slowing down because I'm like, I just can't keep doing this. It's just too much. So sometimes it can be like that. And there's even Iron Mountain. There's parts of Iron Mountain that gets kind of boring too. It's just a few slow turns and things like that. I do like to go back and forth. Mulholland Drive in California. You get up there to the Stone
Bar. Stonehouse.
I think it's Stonehouse. But I was going to say Stonehouse too. Stonehouse Bar, see Jay Leno. A lot of big people come up there. Those are some nice windy roads too. But the bad thing is the crotch rockets come flying around you about 80 miles an hour when you're trying to do. The speed limit's 20 on the curves. You're doing 40, and they're doing 80 around you on the outside or the inside. They don't tell you they're coming. That's the only part I don't like about that. But I rode that, I don't know, a dozen times or so. And that's fun. Because sometimes you're up high enough on Mulholland Drive, you can see the ocean. So we rode on some really neat, and that's what I'd love to get back into California. Even though a lot of people don't like California, California is very beautiful when it comes to the countryside and the landscape and they have every kind of weather.
Because you can ride the coast there and actually be on the coast.
Well, you've got everything there. You've got the desert. You've got the winter. You've got rainy areas. Well, California covers half the United States. It's the length of almost 3/4 of the United States, that whole coastline. So when you go inward, they got you got the desert. You get up to the redwoods. There's the ultimate dream, which I did that. To take a motorcycle and go through the Redwood Drive on your motorcycle and stop and you look up on your motorcycle and you realize how small you really are.
You can't even see the tops of the trees.
And we've done it. The first time we did it was in our Mustang convertible we had, and that was priceless. And then when I did it with the motorcycle, see what's nice about motorcycles? You can stop anywhere. We've rode around California. We've stopped to see the sea lions where nobody can stop with a car because there's not enough edge for a car to pull over. We'd sit there and see them giving birth to other sea lions. And it's just the things that we've seen along the coast of California, just in a couple of days, you can't really see in anywhere else in the United States. And I wish we would have been doing YouTube back then because a lot of it I can never, we pulled up to probably 300 or 400 elk one time in a pasture, and within an hour they were completely gone.
We're on that ride.
Ooh.
They said that 89A goes down into Sonoma. So it's probably, remember when we went down through there? I think that was one of the rides we took with Dave too. From the Grand Canyon, we went down and there was that
the creeks running along the lake.
I think that's it.
Yeah, and I'd like to go back there again and do that again. That was really neat. I'd like to camp along there. Nothing
like a nitro hairpin turn in a quarter mile. Crotch rockets are the problem with the tail of the dragon. Everybody says it's a good ride, but there's just too many crazies out there. Well, they say you got to do it early in the morning and do it early in the week. Ken said in your dreams he's never buying a Waffle House. They wish they'd close up Iron Mountain for just a few days. Yeah, that would be nice. Oh, and do a Harley parade. That would be cool. Well, see, but the bad thing about that is just like here, when we rode with, we were behind somebody the other day. Where we were at when we were riding. And the guy just kept going. I think it was just riding on one of the roads. And the guy, he went so the turn's 30 miles an hour, and he's doing 25 in the turn. Then when it's a straightaway, he's doing 85. That was the Legends ride. Okay, Legends ride. And that's a problem what you have is people that have never, which it is, everybody should ride in a hog grill and learn how to ride. And I know motorcycle clubs ride different than that, but I mean, to leave space cushion, learn that when you're going around turns, you're going to be single file behind each other. I see these guys just like here. I seen it this week where we were at people riding side by side or staggered and curves. I said, if that guy just slips a little bit and moves over, you're gone. He may still be up, but he's going to take you right off the side of the road. And it's like, why do you do that? Why not get behind each other? And that's what I said. We learned. I never rode in a group until we got to a hog group. Maybe we just had a really good hog group that taught you all the right ways to do it, which is very possible. But when I have a lot of people that follow me, like we did a ride
in Nashville. And the guy came up at the end and he walked up to me and he says, I want to compliment you. And I said, for what? He says, for how you ride. I said, why? He said, because you kept a really good pace. You know, you stayed over on your side. And a lot of people say that's too, that they see my video and I'm all over the road. You know, I am turning the camera on and off and I am doing different things. So no, I'm not riding in a group. There's nobody behind me. So yeah, when somebody said that on one of my rides on Iron Mountain or something, I was going back and forth across the road. One was a stupid truck in front of me. He was doing 20 miles an hour. And I was kind of looking in front of him to see who was up there.
Why he was going along the way he was going.
Well, I want to know, maybe, is there another car up there that's slowing down? Is there something else going on? Oh, Kenneth was trying to call you.
Oh.
We'll have to talk later.
Sorry, Kenneth. He must.
Online.
I'm hoping he's calling to say he made it home.
Yeah.
But they said, Russell said Moonshine Highway and the Snake is a good one to go on. Where is that at? And then Ken wants to know if we've ridden the $1 Million Highway. I've heard of that, but I don't know where that's at.
That's up around Colorado, I think, and goes across. That's a pretty long drive. No, we have not done that one. I'd like to do that sometime. But see what the problem is now with us covering rallies? We don't have a lot of time. Just like here, we're going to pull into Eureka Springs about 2, 3 o'clock on Wednesday. Rally already started. So we've got to figure out where everything's at. So I figure on Wednesday, I'm going to be over at the Cat House. We're going to check them out, talk to Jeff, see what else is going on there. Thursday, I'm hoping to go to Rogers, check out the Indian dealer and the Harley dealer, talk to them too.
And what vendors they have.
And then if we have time that day, I want to loop back around and go to Fayetteville just so we can see what Fayetteville has and what's there. If not, that now pushes me to Friday. So now if I want to do a couple lives from Friday and Saturday night from the rally, well, now they're telling me in Bikes, Blues, and Barbecue, there is no real place like Bikes Line Up, like in
Sturgis, like on a main street or something like that.
So like they say in Eureka Springs, everybody for themselves to find a place to park. And it's like chaos there at night. So normally we try to get there early, but I don't want to get into where I'm blocked in and I can't get out either. And some drunk guys there.
We've done that before.
Yeah. And almost got in a fight over it. And so
anyway, if you're on, don't forget to give us a thumbs up. You've been on over 2 hours.
Yeah. So we'll start to wrap this up.
Thank you, Tim.
So sorry for going so long today and ramping on some of this stuff today. Said a lot of things.
So that's in North Carolina then. Okay.
So, go down here on this one here and in the regular comments and put some different rides that you like. And maybe we'll do a video and we'll talk about rides. That'd be a good video while we're here in between rides, is everybody lists their best rides and give the points of where they're at. Hey, if you start.
And what you like.
It's like if I do mine, which I've got a video out there on.
Iron Mountain.
No, on the Arizona. The Sidewinder. So I have a video showing that ride already. It's out there and you can go back and look for it. And you just go in there under our thing and put down Oatman or put down a Sidewinder and it'll come up and show you what video that was. People always say, can you find that video? I got to search through the videos just like you do. I don't know when I did it.
Well, can you, if they do it in a search?
Well, it should be. If you go to our channel, you should be able to put Sidewinder or put Oatman, and if it's in the title, it's going to show up as one of the. That's how you find it. And so, it wasn't a big wild thing of people, but it's got a lot of curves. It's got a lot of reading. Well, we actually had one that I did two. I think one I put out there just to me riding it. I think I ended up doing that. I don't remember. George asked me to do it. I don't know if I ended up putting the full ride out or not. But we did another one where we actually brought one of the guys to do some history about it and showed us all the different points of where things used to be at.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that was a pretty neat video. But it showed the ride. And
I know, Kevin, that's why I told him, because we don't hardly ever get back to this area in the fall or the winter. So I'm hoping we get to see some of the fall, the foliage, the leaves and
it's
stuff.
not cold enough change. We haven't even got a frost yet.
I know, but
you're not going to see
back in October, November. Well, I don't know. I'm hoping.
You're going to be going.
Such a pessimist.
What it is we're going to be
in Florida for October.
That's right. And I don't think leaves change in Florida. Where's red pink? Do you have fall colors in Florida? I don't think so. They ain't gonna hurry that.
We don't have a website.
Have palm trees. Yeah, we don't have a website.
We have an email.
Somebody can help us build a website, and they can run it for us. That would be appreciated.
Yeah.
And we could tell you what I want on it and how to do it. And I'm not real. This is enough time.
Ken's gonna go to Rocky Point with us. He says, "Who's in for Rocky Point?"
There you go. That'd be a fun ride.
He wanted to know when we were going to have our inaugural Bob and Tam rally, B&T rally.
Until we get enough people that want to do something.
Yeah, we can't even get people coming to a meet and greet, much less.
Well, first I'd have to figure out where we have it at because we have so many different places that we see people
They're
at.
saying, hurry up. The Chiefs play at 7:20.
Oh, all right. So she'll go through the comments here.
Skyline Drive is a great ride. Where's Skyline Drive? That sounds familiar too.
You used to live on Skyline Drive.
Skyline Terrace, but I've heard that before somewhere too. Is that in California? Usually leaves start changing around Columbus, stay on the East Coast. But probably not. Oh, Rat Pink says not really.
Yeah, I didn't think so either. So that's what
good job.
we're
Keep
going
up
to be
the good
across
work.
there. Then we're going to go to Louisiana, Mississippi, Alabama, all on the bottom. Then we'll be in Texas. Maybe might get lucky. But see, by the time we leave Rocky Point, it's almost Thanksgiving. So most of the leaves should have already changed by then.
Well, I'm hoping maybe on our way to Texas, maybe we'll see some.
Maybe. Well,
We'll
on the
see.
way to Daytona, you'd be lucky. You'd be the luckiest if you were on the way going down there.
But that's only the middle of October.
But then you're going from Myrtle Beach to
Daytona.
But I don't
Well,
think
we'll
you're
be
not
going
going to
through
get
Georgia and
You'd
stuff.
have to really probably come over it. I don't know. Until the weather gets cooler, which I'm all right with the warmer weather, because the cooler it gets, then we got to start putting more gear
Yeah.
on.
Drive runs through Shenandoah Park. Okay, Skyline Drive runs through Shenandoah National Park in Virginia. See, we've never really been up to the Northeast coast.
No, we wanted to do, which they say is a really fun place to go to, is ride the Oregon and the Washington State coast. But you got to do it in August because of the rain and the mist and all that. And they say that will take you days just to do. I really like lighthouses, so that would be something I'd really like
East
to
Coast's
do.
got a lot of lighthouses.
And but it's, I don't know. But you get a lot more people. I think there's a lot more population. You get over there, you're starting to get into New York, and you're getting over there to where things are really congested. Like Florida. Florida, if it didn't have so many people, it'd be pretty neat. I think that's one of the reasons. I think that's one of the reasons South Dakota ends up being such a nice. They don't even have 1 million people live in the whole freaking state of South Dakota. So that makes a big difference. Just like California. You know, if you can get up, we got lucky when we went up that coast. There was nobody really on that. That day we rode the 200 miles from San Francisco to Leggett, California. We probably seen 2 cars the whole time we were on that road, and it was a clear day, which doesn't happen all the time. You ever been to San Francisco? We've only been there twice out of all the years we went to San Francisco that you could actually see the Golden Gate Bridge. Most time you can see half of it, you can't see the other half.
Hi, Fern the camper.
Finish up your comments so we can move on.
So I was that's Fern the camper. I think we used to watch her in the mornings. Didn't she have a live feed? Fern the camper, Redwoods. That's great. It's fantastic. Yes, they said it's in the Blue Ridge Mountains at Sky.
I mean, there's probably
Skyline.
so many rides. We've ridden through Death Valley. You know, if you've never ridden through Death Valley, that's an experience too. Not real challenging, but I mean, we've come down the mountains from the backside. What's somewhere on by Palm Springs? When you come down that back way, what town's up there? That one town we ride the bikes up, and it's only like a block long and a dead end. Can't think what that town's called there. When you go up the back way, go through Monterey.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
I don't know.
I keep wanting to say Redlands, but that's not it.
That's on the other side. And but you come down this mountain and it winds around. There's a bunch of curves. Big Bear. To go down the other side of Big Bear is a lot of fun. A lot of motorcycles have wiped out because cars come over the lane. But I mean, that's really fun going up and down that hill. So
Wow,
there's a lot of, any ride could be a good ride.
Hi, down the road we go. Oh, they're on there too. I see you guys all the time because it's on your sticker's on the back of his computer. So when I'm sitting across from him, I always see your sticker. Joshua Tree. That's pretty.
Yep, we've been to Joshua Tree. We rode from the
I'm
from one highway to the other side.
Comment
Why, so
because I don't know. I don't want you to get into it because
Why?
you get a lot of people upset.
Well, what are you
Big Bear in the
complaining
Desert is awesome. I'm not gonna
about?
let you see it.
I just see what it was.
They're
Go ahead.
asking. They like the Badlands. They think that's an
Yeah.
awesome ride.
And it is. Everybody, that's why I said, just like going through Death Valley, it's an experience. And the Badlands is like that for me. I've done it once, not interested in doing it again. But
That's the best way to find rides. Talking to locals.
one of the rides that we want to do that we've never gotten to do yet is through Utah. There's like 4 or 5 state parks right there at the end of Utah there around St. George, which you go through the Arches Park and you change elevation. You can have 80-degree weather at one point and have snow later on up the hill, which it happened to us. We came out in light clothes, and the next thing you know, we were in snow. And we still didn't get to ride through Zion and all the other ones. But I mean, it's priceless.
We had to stop and get a jacket. Man, it was freezing because we left. It was hot at the bottom, and I didn't realize it was.
Feet. Yeah, it was.
We didn't realize the elevation went up that high.
Yeah, and so which it is. That's why I said there's. What's what I've said before. Just like we was talking about vets and stuff and people that have issues and how motorcycles can help. I've never had a bad ride.
Branson, Missouri.
But there's better, there's some places that have better rides than others, and everybody's got a favorite, and that's what you have. And I just always look at rides like we were talking about Tail of the Dragon, that everybody said, oh, you've got to ride that. It's going to be the best ride you've ever had. Well, now
you do want to ride it.
What you do. And the more people that I didn't have high hopes for it to start with. I figured it would be a decent ride, and that would be it. And like I say, when I rode the Sidewinder that's by us, first time I rode that, I thought it was pretty neat, but it wasn't really a great ride. Well, the more that I've rode it now, and you know the road a little bit better, you know where the curves are at, you know what to expect, you know where there might be chat in the road or something like that. That makes a big difference.
Just jumped on. Give us a thumbs up. Ken says we only have 10 to go. So down the road we go says we're not far from you. Where are you guys at down the road you go? Because we're going to go from here. We're going to go to Eureka Springs.
So we're actually staying at Treasure
Lake
in Branson. We're only here till Wednesday though. And we're moving on down down the Eureka Springs.
Eureka Springs.
The BBB.
The Pig Trail is a good down, and we're going to be riding that one too because it's right there on it. So
well, it's away. We got a guy we're supposed to be meeting with, one of our subscribers, and he's going to take us on a couple rides. But what we have to watch is we don't have a lot of time. By the time we get up, get going, get everything going,
Northwest Tennessee,
and get there and get back, we don't have a lot of riding times. Like next year in Sturgis, we're getting there 2 weeks early. We're staying in Rapid City, and we'll get all of our rides done in a 2-week period. Nothing else to interfere with it. I can do other videos during that time. We're not doing a video every single day. Next year we're going to do it different because one of the YouTubers kind of got advantage of me this year. He started putting out videos this year about a week before talking about showing. It almost made you think the rally was already going on. But we're going to do that next year. We're going to put all these highlight videos up the week before the rally, and I can have them made anytime. I can start making them whenever I'm slow and sitting home doing nothing, and whenever that is.
Thanks, Fern. Have you not been watching us? She says she can't wait to watch all of our adventures.
There's a whole lot of them out there.
So if we get to 100 thumbs up, Ken's going to give us another $10 super chat. So
all right, what are we at?
Go ahead, give us a
91. I need 9 more so we can quit. Give us 9 more.
So all these new people on here. Das Solo, did you give us a thumbs up yet?
So what you do is you go to the phone. You go to your phone. Let me see your screen. See that little black guy there? That's my thumb up. If you hit that, yep. There. If you touch that while you're watching the video, you will give us the thumbs up. That's how we get. What that does is give us brownie points with YouTube, which will promote our videos. And that's how we make money, is by them showing more people what we do.
One down, then up. Says, come down here and ride in East Tennessee. And he'll take you on some amazing, beautiful rides. I know, we need to get off the beaten track, but then we won't be following motorcycle rallies, and then he's going to watch the video.
Well, see, a lot of people, that is the problem. It's like when we look at videos like this, I can see some of the people doing videos over in Ocean City has like 3 times the views that I have, because not a lot of people are interested in watching stuff that's going on in Lake of the Ozarks. They're like, who? So a lot of them just say BikeFest, and they're like, oh, BikeFest, oh. Well, this ain't what I thought. Well, maybe it might be enough to catch them to where they might watch it and see, hey, that's an interesting rally that guy's doing.
Let us know. Bob and Tam's
102.
Bob and Tam's Excellent Adventures.
Thank you.
He says, stop talking, Bob. So we got it. Frank says, Patine, Jose, hi there. During the rally in Eureka, 103 thumbs up, Fern says.
I only got 102. Where'd the other one go?
And 103, Fern says, woohoo.
I got 102 on my
Jerry
page.
said he made the 102.
Oh.
Richard, Bob and Tam, all the rallies you have attended, what is your favorite?
Yes.
Yes, there you go.
Oh, you
Thank
get
you,
an extra
thank you,
five.
Ken.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Yep.
So, yes, all the rallies, we're going to talk about this when it's all done at the end of the year. And we're going to go through and talk about each rally, what we liked, what we didn't like about
Thanks,
the rally, and
Ken.
what we think would make it a better rally. And it's once is our opinion. But the difference between what we do and maybe what you do when you go to a rally is we're standing on the outside looking in. We don't drink. Very seldom are we drinking. We drank more alcohol this week than we have probably in the whole year. So we're different from you. Even with Jeff that runs the cat house, he's watching his people there and things like that. You don't necessarily, he couldn't during the rally. He can't be out checking all the things out because he's got to be running his bar and keeping tabs of that. And I understand that. To where just like when we went to Terrific Tuesday, the guy that ran that operation said he didn't like what was going on, but he can't figure out what's going on. And I said, we'll see everything that's going on because we're not overwhelmed by anything. We watch what's going on, and I'm thinking about what I'm going to capture and this and that. That's why a lot of times when we get all done, I realize, oh crap, I haven't even looked at the vendors yet. And you'll think, no, you didn't. You filmed them all. No, I didn't. I thought about what I wanted to ask them. I thought about how to film them and what I wanted to shoot in their booth. But half of them, I couldn't even tell you what they sell. I mean, I know what they sell, but I mean, I couldn't tell you. Like Rick, I know he's got the seat, the pouch that goes on the back of the luggage rack that locks down because he's done a special video on that. And he's talked about it a couple of times. He loves that product that he sells. But if he said, name one, well, I know he's got the magnetic gas cap because that's the first thing I ever bought. But say, name me something else he sells that it has his brand name on it. I don't know. I couldn't come up with one right now. I could think about it, probably think of one, but I'd have to think about what I seen and things like that. So when we see stuff, it's tough for me to say. Like if you said, "Hey, tell me how many colors Fairing Exchange had on that he normally keeps in stock," I don't know. I've looked at them all. I have no idea what colors he keeps in stock. Because like one guy said, I was talking to a guy, and he wanted a black one, and the certain black that he had, he didn't have for that bike. The guy wanted the gloss black and all that. And he said, well, I can get it, but it won't be for this rally. And so if you need something like that, all these vendors, and we have phone numbers for them. If you're looking for something like, if you want to get a hold of Speeds for Performance Plus, or you want to get an interfering, or you want to get this or that from somebody, you want to get, some Legend shocks from Rick Rack like we did, I can give you their phone numbers. You can call them and tell them, hey, Bob and Cam sent you. Can you have it for me in Daytona, or can you have it in Galveston, or
just like JD? I think he was going to call and get the biker bar from Rick Rack. So
if you need something like that, we're happy to give you the contact people to talk to make sure you get what you want. Or hey, maybe I want to go to One Sexy Biker and order. I want a special jacket. I'm a unique size. Maybe I'm an extra small, or maybe I'm a 5X.
Or tall, and you need a tall guy.
And so you might say, hey, I want that certain hat I seen she had in the store. Can she have it for me in Daytona in the spring? Well, yeah, we'll give you her phone number. You can call her and she'll make sure she has it laid aside, or she can ship it to you. A lot of people do ship stuff. So that's some other things.
Yep. So we'll be home in Arizona area. Down the road we go in
November.
November, and then December, January, and then February we're on the road again.
Look, she's got the wrong color glasses on. Her shirt's got a little more red in it than blue. She wanted me to tell you.
The side's got some orange in it. I don't have.
I get that comment all the time. They say, how many pairs of glasses does she have? The only good thing is she buys these at the dollar store. So it's really not too bad.
But I found some online on Amazon because I need orange, and there's the pink pair, and what was the other one? It was 6 pair for like $15, so that's not too bad. It's more than the $1 that I normally pay for all these, but they've only got like 8 or 9 colors. I need a few more. So it doesn't match. No, it doesn't. So I'm not going to show you what shirt I have on. Arizona's beautiful.
Sometimes she looks at it and she goes, looks like I don't even have a top on. We got to show you something. We are in the show me state. We're going to have something special at the end of one of our videos.
We did it one day, but the stupid microphone wasn't hooked up.
Yeah.
We will go to the queue for sure. Maybe we can meet up there. Okay. Yeah, a friend of ours wants us to go down there too for that. To Quartzsite, they're going to go. Down the road we go. Amazon is the best. I know.
Okay.
That's it.
So with this, we're going to end up the show. So
you can watch your football game.
yep. So there was 3 videos that I pulled off of here that were live feeds that we took off because I thought we were losing subscribers. I did lose subscribers. I don't really know why. If it was YouTube that's screwing with me, or if people just decided, hey, these guys are nuts, we took them off. So I took off those live feeds. If you want to see those, they're not on here yet, but in the next day or so, I'm going to put it down underneath these comments, and I'll also put it on our Facebook page that you guys can go back and watch those if you want. If you don't, I don't care. They were kind of hectic and kind of went crazy. And I did that because I was just afraid that we might have offended somebody, or somebody got upset with the way we talk or whatever we talked about.
We
or
were acting too crazy.
Yeah, whatever it is. I know some people get mad when we talk about other YouTubers and stuff. So try not to do a lot of that. And everybody is who they are. They do
a lot of people. Yeah, I know. That's what they say. Fern says that too. Fern the camper says YouTube unscribes a lot of people. It's really horrid.
And we got hit a lot last year. And I didn't realize my very first year I did it. We lost we only had I don't know, 2,500 people, and they took almost 1,000 people away from me. But we were always getting some. So I never really noticed it. And then somebody showed me on my studio how you go in and see daily how many people they're taking away from. Well, when you call I wrote YouTube, and they say, some people just unsubscribe. You know how many people I've unsubscribed to? Not very many. Oh, I have done it. Somebody says something that's over the line or something, and they get too. I mean, we had a guy that was a Patreon guy.
She said she had to resub to a lot of channels. When we look on it, we still see that we're sub to them. So I don't know. I don't know how they do it.
See what YouTube does is normally only recommends the top 10. We probably subscribe to 1,000 people, and over the years. And I try to go every now and then and look at people. But what I do is a lot of times now is I look. My grandsons, I think, get on this with their TV, and they subscribe to some of these gamers and stuff. So I try to go in there and I unsubscribe to them because I don't want to see gamers pop up on my recommendations. And but if you can watch us once a month, if you're not a loyal watcher, once a month, another way you can help us out is go to the playlist and let it play. You go to Sturgis and let those 40 videos play with all the commercials. That helps us out.
So El Loco, that's when I say ring that bell for notifications. That's that little bell. If you click on that, then you'll get notified. So it says click that bell for notifications. And mine's right here.
Mine's right there too.
I don't think it can't be on a
live.
Yeah. Anyway, it's a little bell. It'll have the thumbs up, it'll have a share, this, that, and the other. And at the very end, it looks like a little bell. And if you click on that bell, then you'll get notified. I'm going to play your playlist next. Thank you, Fern.
And that always helps.
I've got them subbed from half the subscribers I heard. It's hard to go back and re-rescribe. I know if that's what they're really doing. And I don't know how they can do that. All righty. Make your dinner. Thanks for watching us. We appreciate all of you. Thanks for your support. Thanks for your being there, hanging in with us, and all that good stuff. So, subscribe to our channel if you haven't already. Share us with your family and friends. Give us a big thumbs up. Ring that bell for notifications. Think about Patreon, and we'll see you on the next video.
And we'll have a video up tomorrow if all goes well. I got good internet here. It's going to be it's going to show some of the Jackal concert. It's also going to show some fun people. We're going to spotlight the Shady Gator, Lazy Gator bar. Talk a little about that. And if there's anything else, we may show it up later on the next day. We're going to have a video coming up real soon about Fast Pro. That was going through their day was really neat. Hopefully you'll like that. My tractor one didn't do very good. But hopefully you like that. And then we're going to do maybe a rider show here in town. If you want to know more about Branson, we could do a little video on that. If you don't, that's okay too.
So that's where we're at right now, Branson. We'll be here 3 days. Then we're heading out to Eureka Springs for Bikes, Blues, and Barbecue.
That's right. It's still on. Don't give it up.
All right.
We'll see you.
Bye.
Bye. See you later.